tickets to the circus show. If you don't, then you'll never know. Take a stand while you have the time. Drown your fear and keep hope alive. Be the change that you want to see. Be the wrench inside the machine. Is it already over? Is it already over? I don't think it's over. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Small Town Underground. This is a special live stream event Friday evening, and as you can see, this is the collaboration, the one I've been talking about, the one that you've been anticipating. Here live with me in studio, I have the one and only Brian K. Pritchard, a voice of rural America. And man, do we have a show for you tonight. We've got a ton of stuff to cover. Folks, I just got to start by saying, of course, like this, share this, subscribe all around. Share it everywhere. Share it with all your friends. We wanted to kind of do an election wrap-up. You know, we've done a lot of candidate interviews. We've been bombarded with special elections, jungle primaries, you name it, all across the state. I have known BKP for a long time. And I've also been chastised for knowing BKP. I've also been chastised for liking BKP and having a relationship with BKP. And it's a testament of my faith that I can have relationships with people, whether people like each other or hate each other. I want to always try to focus on truth, right? Education. And I've been watching BKP for years. And this man has never shied away from a conversation with me. He's always been cordial. He's been to so many functions. I've went and filmed him. I've listened to him, and even when I've disagreed with him, I can't. You can't deny Brian K. Pritchard, and so you know he has some of the most important commentary of Georgia politics. So much so, you know, his Georgia Hours continues to just be like a cornerstone of everything that we do in this state. And we need to pay attention and listen up, because we do have a state to save. We've got to get this right this time. And so he agreed, man. He agreed to come on the show with me in my studio here, and it's just like, it's great. So, folks, let's welcome Brian K. Pritchard. Brian, how the heck are you?
Let me try this, because I'm not used to this side. So let me try something here. Hello, folks. It's time for Small Town Underground with Roy Hambrick. And yes, I am the special guest, BKP. And we're going to spend the next 2 hours talking about the election season and anything goes. But I want to ask you a quick question. If you like me so much, why did you have the cops stop me at the edge of town and shake down my car? Why was I frisked and searched before I got here?
I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, you wanted to double check?
Just wanted to double check.
Okay, we'll go with that. Roy,
you look different.
I appreciate it so much, and you're right. I mean, you know, you and I have been talking for years. We met at a convention several years ago, bumped into each other. I've been doing shows for years. You send me messages. And I like the way you opened up, because the one thing I've told my audience for years, if you're watching what I do, don't get confused that you have to agree with me. I always want to make sure, look, anything I do, I always check it and I say, what are people trying to get me to believe? What road are they trying to take me down? So I don't want to be any different anytime I come on, I like to have a conversation with the audience. You, for one, have said, and I get it. A lot of my dearest friends, like, my favorite message I get is, hey, I love the show, but I don't always agree with you. I'm fine with that. So, But
Well,
thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
I think that's important because I guess it goes a little bit about what we talked about earlier, like being able to have tough conversations and talk about things regardless whether you agree or disagree. That's the cornerstone of the public square, right? And I think so many times, Brian, that we get our emotions tangled up in this, right? And especially in politics, you get judged by who you associate with, which I guess we all should. But when you're genuinely trying to move without like a hidden motive, say, or you're genuinely trying to work with people who, other people, I come from this Northwest Georgia where this faction hates this faction, this faction hates this faction, and I just try to look for the nuggets of truth, right? I don't have to have the same relationship with people just based on the fact that somebody I know hates them, or
But
what I mean?
Roy, I don't understand, and I want to lay out the direction I want to go tonight because you did ask about an election wrap up. We got
Yes.
election next Tuesday, and I have laid out each race that we can discuss. But I think what's upsetting, I'll say upsetting, is I don't know why people just seem to be angry. I mean, I call them the uglies. I mean, you go to social media and you write something, you put something up, and it's just how fast can someone attack or say something ugly?
Right. I get it.
I personally, I don't care, but someone said the other day that I even dress funny, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, don't go and try to hurt my feelings." Come on, really?
Sure.
But you know what I mean? I mean, I wish we all can have a conversation, relax a little bit, not go straight to anger, to DEFCON 1, every time somebody says something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure, I get that. And you've been through a lot. You were the first vice chair of the GOP, and all of that stuff that happened. It was,
And I'm still here.
and you're still here. You're still here.
And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right. And those people, and that's what I try to remind people, is like, hey, you can go to bed at night and be horribly upset with this person over this situation, but when you wake up the next morning, they're going to still be there. And a year from now, they're going to still be there. So what is your goal? Is your goal to make things right, move things forward regardless? Because it doesn't mean that people can't come back together and sit down at the table. That's what we ultimately want, I think, right?
But,
Is that
but
not?
Roy, when you say I've been through things,
Yeah.
let me just say this. I was always aware that was out there. What I mean, like the possibility that someone would do this or someone. I was always aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm not. So, at no time. I want to be very clear. I'm not being, and I promise I don't want to come across to the audience arrogant, but I do not get up in the morning wondering who likes me.
Right.
I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't get up
when we
and say,
shouldn't.
I wonder if someone likes me today, or
We shouldn't.
because that alone can drive what you do,
Right.
and that can alter and manipulate how you do things.
I agree.
That ends up being called a politician,
Well,
seeing if everybody likes. But I don't say
agree.
that to be ugly. So when I say that, there was never a day, that I went through anything that, let me say this first and foremost with that, and I know we want to get into this, but let me say this first and foremost. My wife has always supported everything I've done, everything, and she never flinched 1 minute, and she's always had my back. A lot of people, look, I talk politics. So what I want to be very clear with your audience is, what I want to talk about tonight is these races and the best path forward for November. Because what will happen is I'll have people go on social media, oh, all of a sudden he's like this. No. I'm talking politics. Okay? Me personally, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. I am a constitutionalist. Okay? I'm America first. Free trade America first, meaning I believe in free trade in America. All right? I'm America first. Pro-life, pro-Second Amendment. All right? And I believe in my God-given rights, and I believe they're enshrined in the Constitution, and I will not waver. I'm a fiscal conservative. All right? Now, people will say, well, I heard you say all this, but you didn't say Republican. No, when I get done saying that, you're supposed to say, oh, he's a Republican.
Right.
That's when you're supposed to say, oh, he's a Republican. That's what I say. So that's who I am. So whatever I talk about tonight, no, it's not. It's not I like Democrats. It's not I like a moderate. It's not I like this lane. I'm going to talk about what is out in front of us to win. Now, when you talk about Republican, I had a comb at 5 years old in my back pocket that said "Vote Republican." My dad gave me my first comb said "Vote Republican." My dad reminded. That's how I grew up. So I will be a Republican until I die. My dad was a Republican when he died. Our whole family are Republicans. But so I'm not going to waver on my of being a constitutionalist, a fiscal conservative. So I'd like to see us grab that back as the Republican Party.
I totally agree.
But how do we get there?
I don't know. And
well, I want to try. I'm not giving that up.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So let me say this. All right. Can you give me the Trump picture? Because what I want to remind everybody at home, first of all, I didn't create the system. I didn't create the system. So when people start saying certain things out there, let's remember all the way through, I did not create this system. You didn't create the system. This is the system we're dealing within. All right. Now, President Trump and Brian Kemp made a deal. Mm-hmm. All right. I want you to remember that all the way through this evening, that they made a deal. All right. Now, and at no time am I here to praise Brian Kemp, but you will hear me say once or twice that Brian Kemp could be instrumental here, the governor. Okay. Or as I like to put it, the governors. There's two of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't. Look, the man signs the budget. Marty sits there. The man goes to the blueberry field. Marty sits there. Mm-hmm. The man can't go get a beer without Marty sitting. I didn't do that.
Right.
People say, well, why do you say that? You're not being nice to the First Lady. I'm not being ugly to Marty Kemp. What did you hear me say ugly?
The truth is just the truth, right? Well, that's what we see.
If Brian gets in the helicopter, she gets in the helicopter. So there you go. Now, let's go to the top of the ticket. Let's go right up here to number one. Okay?
I think I'm going the wrong
That's
way.
all right. Let's go
right here.
Yeah, top of the ticket.
All right.
So, what we have to remember,
and I may just,
and the reason we're going to go to the top of the ticket first, because I want to talk about redistricting, because what I see all the time, is people will run the social media and it's like a fastest finger contest to put something out. And how do we win? How do Republicans win in November? Okay, so we have the top of the ticket. Top of the ticket right now, we have Mike Collins, we have Buddy Carter, and we have Derek Dooley.
For the Senate position.
For the Senate. This is the top of the ticket. This is the Senate, beating John Ossoff. Now, let's go right into what people don't want to hear.
Okay.
Let's get them mad at BKP immediately.
Okay.
I'm not for sure we can beat John Ossoff.
Can I elaborate on that?
Not yet.
Okay.
I know you're the host and you're driving the bus,
all right,
but
let's go. Yeah.
Stay focused on the road right now.
I kind of agree.
Okay, no, I'm just joking because, all right, I want you to get in, but what I want to say there is Ossoff could pull a 5 or 6%. He could pull a 5 here. This guy could pull a 5. Now, Here's the second part. Let's just start the show up with everybody getting mad at me.
Okay.
How do we win if Brian Kemp's out there helping us campaign? If Brian Kemp goes home, now go to the next one if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. So this is recent polling. All right. It's AJC. We're not saying we trust the polls. We're not saying now, folks. We're going to go through the governor's race. We're going to go through the lieutenant governor's race. We're going to go through the Secretary of State's race. We're going to break everyone down. But we have to start at the top of the ticket because it's a poll. So when you go in to vote, what's up top? That's Senate John Ossoff.
Right.
Money's pouring in here. Now, number one, we don't even have one of our candidates that has come up to raising the money that John Ossoff has raised. I think he's the top fundraiser in the United States right now.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. Second, let's get out of the bubble. Let's get out of the 4%. Let's get out of the you and I. I beg people to get out of that. When you go and you ask other people about the race and they don't follow things and they don't follow, I will get people say, have you seen John Ossoff's voting record? Have you seen this one's voting record? You may look at a voting record. I may look at a voting record. But the mom and dad that are over at the soccer field tonight and had to do homework and then getting the kids home to bed, they didn't look at the voting record.
Right.
Got it?
I agree.
So I try to say that. Now, John Ossoff to the power of the incumbency. So if you go vote, you say, what has he done to interfere with my life?
How
did he hurt me?
What has John Ossoff done? Name one thing besides he's a Democrat. Right?
But what's he done to hurt me? Right? So I don't see a big reason to get rid of him because politics has to have an X amount of when you go into an election and you got an incumbent, a percentage of that has to be we need to get rid of the guy. So you've got to tell people when they go to vote the good reason why this guy has to go.
Right.
So that's a percentage in itself. All right. So what I'm getting at is, first of all, that's going to be a tall order. Now, Derek Dooley, this is a recent AJC poll. Now, Derek Dooley right now is in second, according to this. Buddy Carter looks to be third. If Derek Dooley comes up in a runoff, so for all you dog fans out there, I get it, all right? For all of you people yelling through the screen right now at me, but he never voted for Trump, or he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I get it, I'm with you. But if this guy ends up in a runoff next week, there's so much money on the sideline. See, money sits on the sideline. The big money will sit on the sideline, and Kemp has national. I mean, you got to realize this is not about whether we like Brian Kemp or not.
Agreed.
Brian Kemp has national connections, national power. He was the chair or president of the Republican Governors Association. Yes. This guy's got...
He's the most powerful
what's
governor
the kids
in the country.
saying? I don't know, Jew, something. I don't know, Pool. I don't know what the kids are saying. But he's got it across the country, whether you like it or not.
Agreed.
Okay? Now, what happens is the money sits on the sideline.
Okay.
If Derek Dooley gets in a runoff next week, money will pour in like you've never seen for Derek Dooley. And what else will happen? Go to the next one. Brian and Marty will go campaign for him. Mm-hmm. So that's why we got to start with the Senate when we talk about it. We got to start there. That's the top of the ticket. You go in to vote, that's who you have.
Well, they were already making commercials about
it. Right? So if Derek Dooley gets in a runoff, all right, I have not seen Brian Kemp campaign like this since 2018.
Never.
Not even for re-election. Okay?
Nothing.
This guy's campaigning. Now, if Dooley's not in the runoff next week and Brian Kemp and Marty go home and pack their bags and they leave us to ourselves, all right, and they say, the Senate's gone, that could hurt us in the governor's race. That can hurt us in the LT's race all the way down.
Okay.
So for those out there, okay, by the way, the 2020 election was stolen. I have not lost that, okay, because I got people out there wondering, what happened to him? No, I know that, okay. We will never forget that, and we won't go another direction.
So question.
But go ahead.
Are you saying, though, that if Dooley does not make it, let's just say Collins is the front runner. Collins makes it. You saying that Kemp's going to turn his back anyway?
Yeah. There's no.
Just clarify.
Brian Kemp is not going to, in my opinion, make sure this is clear. This is my opinion,
right?
But I know enough internal stuff, and I get enough phone calls. Brian Kemp's not going out and hitting the campaign trail.
Back off.
Well, here's the thing: politics is money. Okay, the political industrial complex is just that. And the sad thing is, out the other end, what does it produce? For the most part, a corrupt politician.
Yeah.
Okay, so the political industrial complex is money. There's a lot of money here. Now, if Derek Dooley does not get in the runoff, and B does not win the runoff and become the Senate candidate, then there's no money in it for the Kemps. There's no money in it.
Yeah.
Why?
Of course.
Someone said to me one day, would they not just do it to do the right thing for the party? Yeah, okay.
Wasn't he the one that made the coalitions?
You keep believing that, okay? You keep believing they're going to do the right thing for the party. And I'm not just the Kemps themselves. So here's the thing. At the top of the ticket, we'll leave it at that, all right? We'll leave it at that, and I want to show you one more. I do not think... Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I want to go back up just a little bit. I don't like the word endorse. I don't
either,
I mean,
to be honest with
for
you.
the simple reason I don't like the word endorse because I never want to look at a camera and feel like I'm encouraging someone else. I love people have the freedom of their vote. But
Agree.
On any race tonight, you're the key. If you ask me how I'm going to vote, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
All right, so I am going to tell you how I'm going to vote, but I'm not going to use the word endorse.
Right.
I don't
Let's
care
make
to share
that
how
clear.
I'm going to vote.
Regardless.
So on
right.
the Senate, if Buddy Carter was to win, I don't think he has the charisma. All right.
Gotcha.
And this is where I have to roll the dice. I don't think the Brandon Phillips jackass mullet could pull off Buckhead. Did I say that out loud? I'm going to leave it to the audience to guess who that is. I don't know. Was that wrong?
No, it's
Was
not
that
wrong.
bad?
Look, I'm just saying.
No,
we've had our share of it.
Look,
yes.
I've been to 10 events. Mike Collins, go to the next picture.
All right.
Mike Collins has never spoke to me. He's never, you know
Is
who that
that-
is?
is
That's
that-
Brandon Phillips.
That's Brandon Phillips?
Yeah. Mike Collins has never spoke to me.
I never even knew what Brandon
All right.
Phillips looked like.
So he's never spoke to me. And
That's Brandon
it's not like you have to talk to me. Well, why does somebody have to talk to you? That's not the point. He's never come up. And I will tell you this. I'm still in the market. I want you to ask for my vote. I was driving up here, and I had, for the first time, someone in a PSC race, and I don't know if we'll get time to go to that, but someone in a PSC race called me and asked for my vote. I said, you know what? I got to go look you up just to be clear.
Yeah.
But I think you got my vote.
Was
know,
it Tobias?
No. We'll go back.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll go back. But here's the thing, okay? I've gone to a dozen things. Mike Collins never asked for my vote. So I went to Mike Collins' kickoff. This is Brandon Phillips, all right?
Okay.
And
First time I've seen a picture of him.
So I went to Mike Collins' kickoff. He is under an ethics and violation investigation.
Yeah.
Okay? Brandon Phillips is. So I live in the 9th district. You live in the 14th. I live in the 9th. And I walked up, and I wasn't offering to work for the campaign. And Brandon he turned, and I was face to face. I said, "Hi, Brandon. How are you?" And I said, "Hey, I live up in the 9th district. You know, I know the county chairs. You know, I know locations where you can put signs." And I said, "Hey, I live in the 9th district. If you're campaigning up that way and you need a little help, give me a call. Just play." The guy looked me in the eye and he said, "We will win with or without you, and we don't need your vote to win." So I will look at you and tell you, Mike Collins, it'll be a cold day in hell before you get my vote.
Wow.
Sorry. Was that wrong?
No,
I don't know. I'm
hey,
a guest here. I don't know if I get to say this or not.
We call him a political hitman. He works for everybody. All the
But
sign,
you know what
he
I'm
does
saying?
all these things. He was under a fake Facebook profile in here trolling everybody.
Right.
We found out what
Yeah.
Facebook it was, and all of a sudden it disappeared. I don't know the guy.
I
just know
do.
this the guy that
I
spit
do.
in Sam Carnline's face.
That's right.
That's the guy.
That's exactly right. So
he's
no, I
working
mean,
for everybody.
I
I get
can't.
it.
I'm not. I mean, look, if people out there are mad because they're supporting it, that's up to you. But man told me he didn't want my vote, so I'm going to honor his request.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. And trust me. So
I mean, the hubris on some of these people, though. Like, what kind of world do they live in where they can't even pretend, you know? And that's what I've heard over and over and over again about this guy. I have no love lost here. I don't know the man. I just know what I know of him. But he seems to have
I've
his
known him
hands
for
in
years.
every political, candidacy that there is. And he's like the number one, like the bounty hunting hitman, of the state. Political.
unethical. That would be what I would say if you find something in a campaign. Okay, because I know attorneys are always standing by and they're always trying to research everything I say. But if you find something in a campaign that's unethical, or if you find something that is just crosses the line, it could eventually, possibly link back to Brandon Phillips. And plus, I'll just say right up front, any campaign that uses him, that says a lot about the character of the candidate themselves. Okay. For me, if you would use someone that would do some of the things I've heard and been told has been done. So we'll just say it like that, but that's the way it is.
Okay.
Now I want to wrap up with the Senate, so I can get like everybody like all steam, so they'll stay. Well, you haven't asked me who I'm voting for. Well, anyhow, all right. So I'm going to vote for Buddy Carter.
You're going to vote for Buddy Carter?
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Buddy Carter. Now,
Okay.
I know I can hear.
I was afraid.
Are you able to do that yet? Because I can hear through the camera.
I was afraid you were when you led up to all that you were going to say I'm going to vote for Derek Dooley.
No.
Because I will go on the record now and say this, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to look you right in the camera and say this. I just
Hey,
saw
quit
that from
stealing
you.
my stuff, man.
If Derek Dooley is the candidate on the other side, I will not vote in November. That's how strongly my convictions are, and nobody can change my mind. There
I'm okay
are
with that.
what I consider some hell no's. So although I haven't really made up my mind yet about the Senate, it's a hell no for Derek Dooley. But I thought you were going to say that.
No, but let me say this. Since you said that,
Yes.
we have to accept. I mean, I always say to people, if you can't go put all the truth right in line.
Right.
I mean, I call it about 3 lanes. Okay?
Okay.
Republican Party has about 3 lanes. And this lane cannot win the general election. I don't care. People get mad at me and they say, well, you don't even talk about this candidate, and we'll bring that up in a minute. Or you don't talk about... Folks, I didn't create the system. You understand?
Yeah.
I didn't create the system.
We're
I
dealing
didn't
with
divide up the party. I didn't put us where we're at today. But we have to understand where we're at today. How do we win in November? So this lane over here, it might help you get you on the ballot. But if you're not over here a little bit, you're not going to win. Because Republicans have to have Republican vote. They have to have independent vote. And they have to hope some Democrats get discouraged and don't come home.
True.
Bottom line. And I have to tell you, we have to figure out how to get, I got to roll my dice here. This is going to be too early, but here's a second chance I can end my career. But we got to get the ladies up in Buckhead that drive 4-door Porsches that drink wine in the middle of the day, that are squishy Republicans to vote for us. Wow, I'm enjoying this.
Well,
but we have to. But that's a lane, and they're not upset with the voting machines.
I got you.
But you understand. And if we don't win in November,
Right.
how do we? So I get what you say. I'm going to vote for Buddy Carter.
All right.
My wife and I talk about elections. We talk about every race I'm not going to tell you who she's voting for, but we sit down and we go over it, and we are undecided on a couple, and we've got different views on a couple. But the way I look at it is, Mike Collins, I don't think can win. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can win. Ossoff is going to be tough to beat. So to upset, hopefully still my side of the aisle, if Derek Dooley wins and Brian Kemp stays out there and campaigns at the top of the ticket, we stand a good chance of winning in November. And I know you probably heard me say, I hope Brian Kemp is out there campaigning.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
But this is how I'm trying to say how we win in November.
I understand, and I want people to understand the layers. And I don't think it's fair if I don't also, at least, and like you said before, these are not endorsements. This is where we're leaning, and so many people
call not
me.
Endorsement.
But I don't think it's fair for you to tell me and me not to tell my
I'm
audience.
okay with that
because
that didn't bother me at all.
Well, it bothers me for the thing you said. I don't do endorsements, and I want people to be educated. I don't like being an influencer, but I can't argue with a thing that you've said up to this point. But I think I'd be remiss if I don't say, and I will tell you that I have zero problem with either Buddy Carter or Mike Collins taking the lead in the primary. I'm leaning towards Mike Collins because he's got the larger margin. And for that Senate race, it goes back to exactly what you said about Ossoff. Every time you bring up Ossoff's name, what do people say? I said, tell me one thing that John Ossoff has done that you don't like. He's a Democrat. That's all they say. John Ossoff actually helps people, helps victims of sexual battery, and helps agriculture, and does all these things. And he's not been in the news. So how are you going to beat him?
I'm glad you said it, and I didn't have to roll it. No, I'm glad I got to take a breath and you rolled it out, because I'll tell you what.
It's the truth.
You call around the state and Republicans whisper and say, oh, he's really good with constituent services.
Yes, with constituent services.
And our county got money for a sewer system, and I can't say this out, right?
John
so
Ossoff,
let me go back to the Mike Collins for a minute, because we're going to stay focused on, you and I didn't create the system.
Right.
We're talking about the system that we're in, okay, no matter who gets angry. Here is what happens, and this is why they get mad at me, because I will say this is what happens, good, bad, or ugly. Mike Collins wins, all right? Now, the Mike Collins people out there are going to tell you I'm 100% wrong. But what happens after Mike Collins wins, there's phone calls made to Brian Kemp, all right? Now, I don't know if you remember. Let's go back a little bit, and I know we got to keep this ball rolling. But I'm here until you. I'm here until
I'm loving it.
Till you say I got to leave. All right, or there's a checkpoint at the end of town. But I'm going to tell you right now. If you remember when Brian Kemp had the meeting at Sea Island,
yes,
and he had it with donors, and he told donors to hang tight, don't put your money anywhere yet. And I'm paraphrasing, but that happened. Okay, I'm going to get us a candidate. He told Trump, don't worry, I'll get the candidate. All right, let's gloss over how he's never done what Donald Trump wanted, period.
Right.
That's another show in itself. But here's what happens. Mike Collins wins. Brian Kemp starts getting phone calls around the country. Hey, are you going to stay in there with Collins? Or are you going to help pull him over the finish line? If Brian Kemp says no to these people, that money's not going to come off the shelf.
Well, what about Buddy?
It's not coming off the shelf, huh?
Would he do it for Buddy?
No.
Well, so either way, right?
No, either way. I'm not voting for Derek Dooley.
Yeah. I got you, but I mean, it's one and the same.
But I will in the general election.
The Senate race is in this freaking conundrum where
I will in the general election.
Yes. Well,
I'm okay with that, but I'm will in the general election.
I'm going to probably get roasted
because the money's going to come off the sideline. Mm-hmm. Look, all right. Yes. So here's what I've been told, and let's clear this up. All right, I've had people say, BKP, I don't like you bring up rumor or what you heard. Look, Georgia has the most fluid political gossip line. It is fluid, okay?
I believe that.
And when I get a phone call, first I test it. What are you trying to get me to believe? I get phone calls all the time. Hey, have you heard this? I immediately say, okay, what are you trying to get me to believe? What are you trying to get me to get off the phone and go with? So I test it all out, right? So I have the 3. I heard it once. I heard it twice. I heard it 3. So I take some time on it. I don't just go run to the internet and do the type. I don't do that. I test it out. But in the gossip circle, if the smoke really gets thick, now here's what I've been told. Amy Porter, okay, works, that's Brian Kemp's daughter. Amy Porter works in the fundraising side of Derek Dooley's campaign.
Yes.
And every dollar that comes in, that company she's with, whoever it may be, they get something falls off the table, okay? Mm-hmm. So if Derek Dooley gets in the runoff, the Kemps,
they stand to make a lot of money.
A lot of money. Now, Mike Collins, I can't take all night on the Senate, but I will.
No,
Mike Collins, one of the reasons that Brian Kemp found a candidate and not Mike Collins is, I'm going to say this, I can't prove it like I've seen the contract, but Mike Collins didn't cut them a percent deal. Oh. They didn't get cut in on the Collins. So why would you run out there? Why would Marty and Brian run out there 7 days a week and just campaign for the good of the party? Right?
Yeah. No. You bring up good points. I understand what you're saying. That's how I feel about it.
But the Senate,
I feel like ultimately, Ossoff.
Someone is saying to me right now over this camera, well, you're voting for Buddy Carter. You say you don't want Derek Dooley to win, but on the other hand, you say if Brian Kemp's out campaigning for us, the party, that's the only way we beat Ossoff is if Brian Kemp goes out.
No, I get it.
And that's the only way we beat Ossoff because Brian Kemp can tell people, remember what we started with, when you're an incumbent, you got to have an ounce of reason why to get rid of them.
Yeah, sure.
And Brian Kemp could give the ounce of reason.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. He's got the control.
And then Dooley has no voting record.
You're right.
Obviously, he has no voting record, period. So there's nothing to challenge him on.
Right. So I get it, and we'll move on from this. But
now, I want to move on from that for a reason, but I want to say this.
Okay.
The reason I'm so strong on that is because you got to stop and think. You said you won't do it? Fine.
I can't.
Wait a minute. I'm not asking you to. But how far down that ticket do you have someone that you really want to win?
Well,
because there is a pull.
Yeah.
There is a pull. If a person will go in, I still pull the lever. I'm old. You're just a kid. You're just a pup, right? Just a pup, right? I still see milk on your whiskers, right? Anyhow, listen. But still, yet I for all you old folks out there that understand, I call it pulling the lever. I still pull the lever, right? I like a good hanging chad from time to time.
There you go.
If you go in and pull the lever at the top, you might stay all the way down.
Yeah, well,
but when you start asking people to go vote and crisscross and vote here, vote here, vote here.
I know.
So that's why at the top of the ticket, there's places down below.
I'll move on from this, and I'll tell you this: I'm gonna go against my judgment and say, look, primary, absolutely not. We will revisit this towards November.
We'll analyze it. You got to analyze it. So let me go with one more thing on this election before we break into the down the ticket here.
Okay.
We got to remember where we're at, and when I say that, okay, this is our chance, because I don't know how long you've really been in the political side, but I'm going to tell you where I was exactly at this time in 2018.
Okay.
I was putting out Brian Kemp signs.
I understand that.
As hard as I could put them out.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing interviews. Brian Kemp came to our office. Brian Kemp and his team pulled the bus up in front of our office. At that time, we had an office at FYN Media. Brian Kemp came up there. Brian Kemp and I sat in the room. I've still got an old hour and a 45-minute interview with him. I was the first one to see Casey Cagle after Trump endorsed Brian Kemp. I was the first one to catch him out of the car and say, "Sir, how do you feel about Kemp getting endorsed by Trump?" So what I want to say is, remember 2018 where we were at.
Yes.
Now, this is the first chance we've had
Yes.
since 2018
Yes.
to go down ballot, get some people in office that maybe we can move the ball.
I agree, and I want to just reiterate what you just said there. I've said this so many times that we talked about it in the beginning, emotions and everybody hating each other and getting all emotional. And I've asked this question so many times. I said, do you still support the person that you supported wholeheartedly 4 years ago? And my point to that is how fluid this all is. We were all held our nose and voted for Kemp in 2022 with hope that things would turn out better. 2018, he was the guy that pulled up in the truck. And I want people out there to remember this conversation, because guess what? The people that we're cheerleading for nowadays and 4 years from now, they might be your mortal enemy. So keep that in mind.
Well, the other thing is Kemp, and we'll get in the governor's race. Kemp,
sure.
The Georgia governor's office is the most powerful office in the United States.
It is.
And it's very heavy-handed. All right, and we'll get into this when we go down to the governor's race, because the lieutenant governor has limited powers.
Yes.
Okay, so the governor holds the power. Mm-hmm. The governor goes into session, looks over at the House and say, you do this, and I'll sign this, and go back in his office. And they will do that, and we could talk about his veto pen that he just struck things out this week. But anyhow, So it's a very heavy-handed office. We have to get out from under Brian Kemp.
We do.
We got to get out from under Brian Kemp.
Agreed.
And we got to get some people in the office where we may be able to move the ball. Okay. Now, I want to move to this race here. Go to the next one. Yeah. Now, this. I want to move to this for a reason. This is the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Now, in Georgia, we vote for our Supreme Court justices. Now, the reason they're nonpartisan, but the reason they're considered partisan, in Georgia, we like the governor's power likes to make sure a justice retires in midterm,
sure,
so they can control the appointment.
Name of the game.
So we don't have justices that run head-to-head and win. We have governor appointments that try to retain the office. But that being said, you have Charlie Bethel. Mm-hmm. Okay,
on the bottom list.
Stay right there. You got Charlie Bethel, and you got Miracle. I think her name's Rankin. And Charlie Bethel was appointed by Nathan Deal. I forget the other one. I can't remember who she was appointed by, but both Republicans, appointed by Republicans. They're up on the ballot. Mm-hmm. And here is the thing. We've lost 2 PSC races.
Yes.
All right? We've already lost. Democrats are motivated. Mm-hmm. End of story. They're motivated. Okay? Yes. They're outpacing us now early voting. We'll talk about that in a minute. I've got some numbers I want to share with you after today. I think the close of the day I have some numbers. But Democrats are outpacing us. Now, because these are nonpartisan races, but they're partisan, because you got to look here. Let's flip over to the next one. These are the 2 Democrats right there. Okay, the Democrat Party. As you can see, As you can see, it's supposed to be nonpartisan, but as you can see, the Democrats are pushing these 2, Jen Jordan and Merritt. Now go over to just flip over really fast to the next one. There's Charlie Bethel, and the next one, and there's Sarah Hawkins Warren against Jen Jordan. If you could go back to the 4, I don't mean to have you jump around.
That's fine.
So we have 2 incumbents. Now, what people get confused about, and we want to clear up, is when you go in and pull a ballot, you pull a Republican ballot, your neighbor pulls a Democrat ballot. Mm-hmm. You have all your Republican candidates. They have all their Democrat candidates. But what a lot of people don't understand is when you go pull a Republican ballot next week, I haven't voted. I vote on election day.
I do too.
All right, so when you go pull that ballot, all 4 of those names are on your ballot. But guess what? They're on the Democrat ballot.
They're nonpartisan. They're going to be on both sides.
So what happens is this race is over Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a primary. This race is over.
Right.
Now, I'm going to say this not to be ugly out there. We've done a piss poor. Oh, excuse me, Mom. I think my mom's watching. My mom wouldn't appreciate that. So I'm only apologizing to my mom. The rest of you, well, we've done a very poor job of getting that out. Very poor job. Okay, because this is over. Now, Barack Obama has endorsed the 2 Democrats,
That's right.
or nonpartisan, but he's endorsed the 2 Democrats. The Democrat parties have poured money in. This is one of the first times in recent history that the Supreme Court justices have bought commercial time.
Yep.
All right, and ad time. They normally don't do that. That being said, Tuesday it's over, and you got a lot of voters thinking, well, what do you mean? There was 4 on there. You mean they're not in the primary? They're not in the general? No, it's over.
Right.
So another thing is, let's tell the voters out there, I generally don't do this, but go vote incumbent.
Incumbent.
You can't vote. You're not going to see Republican and Democrat. You got to vote incumbent.
Yes.
If one or both of these, this will be like the PSC races. Yep. You know how we lost both PSC races? This will probably be the odds of 2 incumbents win or the 2 other.
Right.
If we lose these 2, you'll hear this all night. Money's going to come off the shelf. Barack Obama's in this. It's going to stimulate Democrats even further, energize them, and money's going to pour in.
Right.
So it can't be a one-off. Like Josh McCoon has said, one-off. It's a one-off. This is not a one-off.
Yes, I agree.
The Supreme Court, I just wanted to get into that quickly. We've got to win these. This is another thing that can pull the ticket down. We're talking about the ticket.
Yes. I agree with that 100%.
All right, so I want to show you something else before we go too far. Let's go right here. Now, go to the next one. Just go to, I think it's right there. Stop. Oh, back one. All right. So this is where we're at, all right? And I like to show these before we go too much further because I gave a speech down in Macon. Great people across this country. I was down in the 2nd District not long ago, Unadilla. Myron Mixon. Oh, the old boy can make some barbecues. And I'm telling you, that was unreal. That's enough to make you slap your mama, right? Sorry, I don't mean to get sidetracked. But anyhow, I was down in the 2nd District. The thing I want to say is everywhere you go in this state of Georgia, there's beautiful people. It's a lot of fun.
I agree.
But this right here, what I'm showing you is, I've said this to people not to be negative. I'm a lifelong Republican. We've had the governor's office since 2003. We've had the Senate majority since 2004. In 2005, we took over everything. The House, the Senate, and the governor's office, and look at that. So I'm going to get a lot of trouble for this. I mean, I don't know how many times I'll get in trouble tonight. If I was a Democrat, I'd be out there saying, hey, if it's wrong, it's their fault.
Yeah. You think? I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have to make a determination as a party, as our candidates, that we're going to go correct it.
Agreed.
We got to, because how could you look? I live on a dirt road. I live 2 miles back on a dirt road. God's honest truth. It's useless to put up campaign signs. The only livestock that's going to see it. My dog, some deer, and some turkey. All right? But seriously, in the PSC races, out at the end of my dirt road, because there's like 10 houses up there, someone stuck a sign in, and it said, hey, if your power bill's too high, blame a Republican. That's all the sign said. That's all it said. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Now, I wanted to show you that because I always say, if you're not going to man up or
that's right, that's for accountability, right?
I don't want to misgender anybody out there or anything, but if you're not going to whatever, if you're not going to whatever you are in the alphabet world, if you're not going to focus and say, this is where we're at. I don't know how we get where we want to be.
I don't either.
So you got to
remember.
Everybody
needs to take.
You got to remember that. Okay?
Agreed.
Now go to the next one.
Here's the next one.
Well, and before you go to the next one, we have to remember also, I'm going to say so. I don't like saying this, but the Democrats are poised. They smell the blood.
They do.
I mean, they smell it. They got sharks out there. They're poised to make this move. That's why I started out with the Senate and the top of the ticket.
Right.
They are poised. I mean, we can't give them reason. Go to the next one. I just want to show this. Now, here's the reason I wanted to show you this one. This is the state Senate, okay? Now, in the state Senate, we've had control. We've had 2002, we had 30. We've had control all the way since then. This only goes to 2024. But you see, in 12 and 14 and 16, the state Senate had majority, meaning they had override ability. The Republicans, the Republicans did not have to ask in these years.
No.
The Democrats, nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, they didn't even have to say good morning if they didn't want to. They didn't even have to let them have, a bagel at the breakfast thing.
Agreed.
They could have said, your line's over there. You go over there. You get crackers or whatever. But the point I'm making, just joking around here, there's 3 years they didn't even have to acknowledge Democrats. As you can see, I'm up to 24. We're going backward. If we lose a House, and I want to say this for a reason, if we lose a Senate seat, one more or another one, it just increases the having
wall.
to work with them.
Right. Got you.
People say, "Oh, don't work with the Democrats."
Yeah.
It increases.
That would help for taxes,
well,
wouldn't it?
Number one, look at what the House. That was a stunt. The tax thing was a stunt. You know why? They knew they didn't have veto-proof majority. They knew they didn't have enough to put it on the to get a constitutional amendment. You have to have a supermajority. They knew they didn't have the votes.
You were finding that out. Yeah.
But as you can see, that's where we're at. Now let's go to the House real quick, and then we'll start into the other races.
All right.
Here's the House. Okay.
Okay.
In 2004, that's where we took over. See right there? Now, as you can look, in 2014, we had a supermajority. That's called a supermajority. Now, see, in 2014, we didn't have to negotiate with a single Democrat. But you see how we're going backwards? Now, we have about 5 House seats on the bubble.
We do.
We have about 5 on the bubble. If Ossoff, see, that's why we're starting at the top of the ticket. If Ossoff pulls, if he has a magnetic pull of about 5, and it starts down through some House seats, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We could be down to, I think we have to have 93 for a majority. I forget what it is, the number is. But we could be down 93, 94. We could be much lower than that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
all right,
scary.
Now, where this gets really scary is if we get a Democrat governor.
Very true.
Because Democrat governors start calling in those House members that might want a committee assignment, might want to chair a committee, and then the Democrat governor could have the leadership fund go over to them, and Democrat governor could say to those 4 Republicans on the bubble that he needs, you can say, you know what, I'll tell you what I'll do. You only won your seat by 1.5%. I'm going to do 2 things. One, I'm going to make sure you don't have an opponent next time. Or 2, I'm going to make sure you have an opponent and they're well funded. Now, you know how we get to that point? You become a Democrat. If you become a Democrat, your seat will be safe. I told that to someone and they said, well, what about their values? I said, I'm sorry.
As if we were governing by values.
These politicians, I'm sorry. Yes, they'll stick to their values and lose their seat and go home. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. Again, I cannot argue with it.
So that's why we're saying this, because we got to put everything on the whiteboard to understand.
You really have to look at it and understand
the ticket. What could drag the ticket down?
Okay.
Now, go to your next one there. Let's see what we got next. All right, let's go to redistricting real quick.
Redistricting.
All right, this is the general map where we're at now. And I'm going to show you a better map. All right, this is the map now, and I want you to see this for a reason because this is your red and blue.
Right.
We are a 9-5 state. Okay.
Okay.
Now the other day, with the Supreme Court, some people are going to get on to me here because I don't have time to go to the constitutional what really happened there. Okay. But the other day in the Supreme Court, the Louisiana.
Right. Race-based gerrymandering.
Okay, so I have it here. Don't go nowhere. Remember this. Your census gives you your it's a proportion. It gives you your portion, okay? Your proportion, okay? Your census, okay? This is where state rights. So the Constitution sets the portion, the state draws the lines. Now, always remember, Thomas Jefferson wrote this, okay? Jefferson wrote this in 1816. He wrote this: the dominant party in the state has the right to make the laws, and the minority party must submit. So there's a reason you win the elections.
Right.
And if you win the elections, you're the dominant party. Right, you're the dominant party. So even Thomas Jefferson said that in 1816. Now, what happened the other day, just a quick paraphrase, just to put it together, you can't go after black vote. So right. I can't go draw the lines and say, well, here's black vote, here's black vote, here's black vote. I can't do that.
Okay.
I can go after Democrat vote, who happens that black people vote Democrat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't go after black vote. I can't draw the lines. I can't draw the lines racially around black communities. Okay, respect to my black friends, they know that. But what I can do is go after Democrat vote that happens to have black people who vote black. They vote Democrat.
Sure, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what the actual ruling was in a nutshell.
Okay.
All right?
Right.
And Louisiana drew a district just to make it a black district. You can't do that. Race is not a constitutional...
Agreed, yes.
You see what I'm saying? So
how recent did they draw that?
That was a couple years ago.
So they've been fighting it for a while, taking it to the Supreme Court, and finally the ruling came down. Okay.
Right. So the ruling came down. So a Supreme Court ruling opens the door. So I wanted people to see that's your red. We're a 9-5 state. Now, what I wanted people to understand, because I started hearing Tennessee all of a sudden. And Tennessee has, and I'll show you in a minute, they drew new lines. Alabama, I think. Texas is 5. Georgia, we are somewhat stuck, and I'm going to show you, because that's your red. Now, go to the next one, as you can see. Now, that was your red and blue. So we have 14 districts. You and I used to be in the same district.
That's
in
correct.
2010, we used to be in the 9th district. This is the new 14. Now, where we got the new 14 was in 2010 from portion of the population. I think California lost one, Illinois lost one, I think New York lost one. They shift into other states. We gain the 14.
Okay.
That's when Tom Graves became your congressman over here, the first congressman of the 14th.
Right.
We got Doug Collins in the new 9th, blah, blah, blah. Right. So that's where that split.
Okay.
All right. So as you can see, we have the 14th district. Now, what I want you to see next is this bothers me. This bothered me, and I'm going to only give you one example. Go to the next one. It's like, okay, this is Georgia Freedom Caucus. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that goes online that bothers me, not attacking the people, but when I see this, all right? End racial gerrymandering. It's time to redraw our electoral maps in Georgia. An activist liberal federal judge previously forced Georgia to enact racial gerrymandering maps. Now, let me just say this for the argument out there, because it would take all night. We got in a position that the judge said, no, redraw the maps, and if I don't like them, I will appoint my own committee to draw them, and I will approve them.
Which is what he did last time, right?
Well, no.
20?
No. We
Okay.
drew new maps, and they accepted them.
Okay.
So we drew maps in 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
We ran on those maps. That's why Jackson County, just a quick update, for a minute, Jackson County was in the 9th, then it was in the 10th, then it was back in the 9th, okay? And that's when they drew the new 7th. Well, I call it the new 7th, okay? And they put Gordon over in the 11th, all the above, right? But what happened is after we put those maps out, we were challenged in court. The judge said, no, I'm not going to accept these maps. You go back, you fix the maps,
Right.
and if I don't like them, I'll do them.
That's what I was talking about. So
Now,
we
here's where the Attorney General, and I'm very upset we only got to, but see, we have a coward for an Attorney General. We have a complete coward for an Attorney General.
Agreed.
Okay? Your next Attorney General will be the one that leads the fight
we hope.
for maps. Yeah, but they have to.
They
okay?
have to.
All right. In 2030, there's going to be a different map. We'll get there in a minute. But this right here, I hear all the noise, but nobody breaks it down of the study. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but hey, if it bothers you out there, for what I see on here, I could teach the damn class, okay? So what happened was Chris Carr is a wuss.
Okay.
He's a total, complete wuss. He failed in 2020. We have, what's your name again? Roy, right? We have, all the way across this country, we have conservative attorney generals that sued the federal government that Chris Carr stood on the sideline all the time, never got involved, right? Fonnie Willis never got involved. Total failure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the one time, I don't want to sound like it's everything I sound. Oh, now he sounds like he's back in Burt Jones. But the one thing Burt Jones says that I really enjoy is he's going around, Chris Carr's going around saying, make crime illegal again.
I know. It's
I'm
so
like,
stupid.
You didn't really say that, right?
It's so stupid.
So we'll get to Attorney General in a minute, and
Okay.
we don't want to waste too much. So what I'm getting at is when you hear this, you got to remember there's an ounce of this that's true, but the real truth is what we should have had is we should have had the, to go after it and go to the Supreme Court like who? Louisiana. Louisiana took it to the
agree.
Supreme Court.
Yes. Every other
A judge told Louisiana, you're going to draw this line, and Louisiana said, hell no, we're going to the Supreme Court.
Brian.
We didn't do it.
Fundamentally, Georgia does nothing. You
But see,
show
we
these
could have
graphs.
won on the same basis. We could have went to
I-
the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, no, you don't draw lines around black. You don't create black
Yes.
districts.
And I want to circle back to that.
Do you understand that?
Why is
But
Georgia
I'm not
the one
attacking
state, though?
them, but when they put this out and they say, oh, because fundamentally wrong, unfair, we must correct this immediately before 2026. We couldn't. And I'm going to show you why we can't.
I got you.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I
I'm
would like
sorry.
to.
Going to jail.
All right, man.
All right.
I just want to point out one
I thought
thing.
I was getting in trouble.
No, you're fine.
I thought I was going to jail.
Georgia remains consistently the state that does nothing, while every other
Right.
state around us
But then
will
we
take
have
care of it.
then we have the Warriors that come out and throw stuff up. I just used that for an example.
I got you. I see your point.
So now go to the next one. We got to talk about the redistricting so we can get
Yeah.
through everything else. Am I running out of time? Because
No.
we're
Are you
here,
kidding?
baby. It's Friday night.
We're here.
Okay. Don't shut me down now.
I ain't shutting
I'm
you down.
rolling.
I go with
You
it.
see Tennessee? Okay. Look at Tennessee. They turned it totally red.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you why. Because
Okay.
I got really frustrated, and I'm not going to bring up names. We don't have time. But I started seeing the keyboard warriors like, look at Tennessee. Like, come on, man. Stop with that. Okay, stop with that. Take a class. It won't take but a minute.
Pull this down.
Now, Tennessee has this pocket. It's called Nashville. It's called Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Albany. We've got Macon. We've got Columbus. We've got Savannah.
Augusta.
We've got Athens. We've got Sprawl from Atlanta. We don't have that. We are nothing compared to Tennessee. We're not compared to Alabama. We're not compared to Texas. We're not.
I agree.
And we're in a position that we have to live today or fight for tomorrow. And this is one time. Testing. I agreed with Brian Count. Sorry.
Well, I want to go on record. I want to go on record with you. I did too. And that I agree. I said I don't see how this could possibly benefit us right now, not knowing the education we're getting now, but I sort of agreed with him.
I'm not spending every Friday night with you.
I said that publicly, that I can understand. I roasted Kemp the other day over vetoing Colton Moore's bill, and even in the roast I put, which I can sort of agree with. I can kind of get that. So for the record, I said that too.
All right, so move on from Tennessee, because, and I'm going to show you, for those in Yorba Linda, California, you didn't understand that, did you? Rush Limbaugh, Yorba Linda. He always say for those. Sorry.
I was a Michael Savage fan. Rush came after, but, I love Rush.
I got it. You still got milk on the whiskers, son. We're okay with that. All right, so all right, so let me just show you this.
Okay.
Tennessee, has isolated islands. It has Nashville and Memphis.
You're right.
All right. Mm-hmm. Its rural areas are deep enough to swallow. Now, keep that in mind because we're going to go through. They're deep enough to swallow the urban slices without flipping, okay? Mm-hmm. The low risk, when they moved that blue dot out, the low risk is they took an R25 to an R15. Now, Georgia, on the flip side, we got suburban sprawl. Atlanta is massive. We got suburban growth that is so fast, it's infectious. You keep in mind, I'm going to say this, Joe, I've been picking at you a little bit, but I know you're much younger. There was a time when if you said Republican in the United States of America, you thought of Orange County, California.
That's right.
And Cobb County, Georgia.
I got you.
Cobb County, that's what you thought of in America.
Yes.
Cobb County, Georgia. And there was a time when you ran for president that you had to win Cobb County and Orange County, California.
Got you.
Okay, so now in Georgia, and look, your high R15s, they could drop to +4s. Mm-hmm. So go here. Now.
Next slide.
Yes. Now, the reason I want to break this down is we're going to talk about the 9th and 14th.
Okay.
And David Cross, if you're listening, this is not to offend you, but I know you live in Gwinnett. Sorry, I'm not attacking my Gwinnett friends. That being said, look at the 9th District. Around 2020, where I live, was a +32.
Okay.
Where you live was a +28. The first map, when we did the first map, okay, the 9th District dropped 10 to an R22, and you dropped to an R22. The current map today, we are sitting in the 9th District in an R+17. You're sitting in an R+19. If we went to a 12-2, now they think they could get 2 more districts.
Okay.
But there's been people saying 12-2. I think they're going to try to get an 11-3. We'll talk about the special session in a minute.
Okay.
I think they're going to try to get an 11-3. Okay. But you are going to have to go way down into Cobb. Now, I just drove over to where you live. Mm-hmm. This is beautiful, son. This is beautiful. I mean, I love it here. I live in the country. We're a mountainous area. You guys over here, I mean, it's just picture perfect to drive up here. Your district's going to go way down. Way. Okay? Our district would go maybe to an R5. Okay. Now, let me tell you what all that means.
Okay.
For those out there that don't think it all the way through. My congressman is Andrew Clyde. Very conservative congressman, okay? He has some opponents right now, but very conservative. If the 9th District goes to an R5, if we get 2 more districts, right? Mm-hmm. Or try 3, but 2 more, and my district goes to an R5 and your district goes to an R5, it's going to cause us to have to put up very milquetoast candidates to get the vote in those areas that are
the
weak.
Deep Cobb County areas.
Do you understand?
I understand.
So I probably have one of the most conservative congressmen in the United States, Andrew Clyde, okay?
Yeah.
Very conservative. But if my district goes to an R5, then they'll have to find a candidate that can win in the general, as they say. And then we might get some real activity in Democrats. And like when your candidate wins in the Republican side, I know Sean Harris is on the ballot. He's not going to win in November. Okay? A Democrat will be on the ballot in the 9th. He's not going to win in November.
But,
guess what?
But
Now, how many years, if it doesn't happen immediately, how many years before it does?
exactly. So it's
Right.
it's headed that way. Like, yeah.
So you could go yell at the top of the roof, I want 2 more districts today.
But
And the next thing you know, instead of us being a 9-5, we're a 9-5 the other way.
yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
9 whatever. Now, another scenario, you understand.
Yes.
Now, let me show you, before we get to the next one, let me throw one more thing in here, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
You have a 2030 census coming.
Yes, you do.
We are on the bubble. Go Google it. We are on the bubble of a 15th district.
Oh, wow.
You see,
okay.
if
Yeah.
population leaves California, if it leaves New York, if the census comes up and their population, Illinois, Minnesota, whatever, if they lose,
Right.
then districts start shifting. We are on. It's called a bubble. You can Google it tomorrow. Boom,
yeah.
we're on a bubble. See, we were almost there in 2020. We were pretty close to a 15th district in 2020, but we're on a bubble. So you go do the redistricting. I'm not against them doing it, but you go do the redistricting. You put all these R17s. You take. I think off the top of my head, the first district is an R13. The 7th district is an R11, or it's an R13. I think the 11th district's an R13. So you got to shrink all those. We go down to an R5. They might go to an R4. Where do you put the 15th district if in 2 years? Right?
Yeah.
And what do you start carving? Because see, if we get a 15th district, that's when we should be carving up, trying to get another Republican district.
Sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But you see what I'm saying? So it wasn't that easy. Like, do it now. It wasn't that easy.
Yeah, I mean,
And you have to think this all the way out. Because you know what? We're not growing our message and getting it across to people and winning over converts. It's not like we're having, our church is dwindling. Got it?
yeah.
Our
No,
church is dwindling.
I
Okay?
Yes.
There's less people sitting in the pew every Sunday in the Republican church every year.
Absolutely,
Okay?
100%
And it's
correct.
blue, blue, blue.
I agree.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And so we have saved our majorities in Georgia by a number 2 pencil not growing our people.
I see.
You got it? Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do with the District 15?
Man, that's scary. I would say they would put it in the metro area.
I mean, do you think I'm wrong?
No, I don't. I think you're blisteringly right. I can't find fault in anything you're saying. And
We have that in recording, right?
Yes, because
okay. I need that clip.
Look, which I have a
But you
whole
understand-
different
no, you
theory.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and my theory is even different on why that they're doing the redistricting. I think it's to cover up to bump the QR code.
Well, yeah,
down
that's happening.
But again, I had to side with Kemp on that one.
Yeah, what I'm saying here is,
I get it.
what I want people to know is I just study politics. It's
Right.
like that's why when I
No,
started
we
out,
need this education.
When we started out, like this is who I am. When I go home, this is who I am.
Well, I
I'm a
haven't seen
fiscal conservative.
I haven't seen a more in-depth presentation thus far on any of this.
But what I'm doing is studying politics.
Yes.
Okay, so and how do we win in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we have to win. Now this one, let's get everybody all worked up on this one. Okay, let's go to the next one. That's the guy we know and love, right? Brad,
Mr. Raffensperger.
and I have to do this just for Noreen.
Okay.
Just for Noreen.
Noreen's watching.
This is only Noreen Ratburger. That was for Noreen. That was for you out there, okay? I don't really like just getting, but that was for Noreen, nobody else, okay?
All right.
So, Raffensperger, okay? You know, I don't want to take our time. We're going to get into the governor's race next.
Okay.
And folks, do not go anywhere unless I get thrown out or they send me to jail. It's across the street.
Yeah.
We're staying here until we get finished, I guess, okay, because I'm
do it.
here. Now, here's the thing, okay? I get really frustrated. I don't do cheerleading. I don't carry water. By the way, I should have opened with this. I'll look you right in the eye. I'm not paid by any campaigns. I do not get a check from any campaign, okay? Nobody. We have a marketing company. The AJC sells advertising. Channel 4 sells advertising. You know, radio stations sell advertising. My wife owns a marketing company. She sells graphic work, stuff like that. She sells advertising, okay? But myself, I will not take a paycheck. I do not get paid by any campaign
Me either,
or
buddy.
anyone, okay?
Yes, sir.
I say what I want to say, and I have people like, oh, you're in a tank. No. I'm bringing you information. The reason I say that is, all these people, when I say all, they're on different networks, they're on different radio shows, they're on different TV shows, and they're in the tank. They carry water, and it's disgusting.
Well, I mean,
okay?
you can see it.
Yeah, they carry water for one candidate or another. I know how it works. That's why they don't like me, is I know how it works, okay? I know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And what really frustrates me is I don't like organizations. It's been, a couple minutes since I really upset people, so let's go there. I don't like organizations that have a hierarchy, I guess, a power that they want to maintain.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
And I don't like it when people, like, for example, I don't have Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got 97, 11, 58, 22 groups. We do. We got the Republican ladies. We got black Republicans. We got Latino Republicans. We got Cuban Republicans. We got Venezuelan Republicans. We got fat Republicans. We got short Republicans. We got Republicans with gray hair. We got Republicans on Botox. Mm-hmm. We got Republicans taking the fat shot. Stop me, man. I'm not going to stop. But the point is we got them everywhere. We got the Republican ladies of this and that. And I got no problem, okay? But we're like the First Baptist, the Second Baptist, the Third Baptist, and the Fourth Baptist. We have to figure out. You know why we have that? It's nothing against the groups. We have no leadership. That's a lack of leadership.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't help that our own governor created his own coalition. So,
right.
So yeah, I get you.
We have a lack of leadership.
Agreed.
And what upsets me, not the people in these groups, they don't upset me, is all these groups are out there trying to maintain a power structure, trying to maintain a higher level, the people in charge not let go. Because what angered me, all right, like, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to ask you if I can say it. So if I say it, then it's too late. See, I don't like Alex Johnson and Nathaniel Darnell.
I love them.
I know you do. But, I'm like my grandma used to say, I don't like them riding or walking. Okay?
I understand.
I don't. Because they manipulate. They manipulate a situation. And I don't like when somebody looks at me and doesn't tell me the truth. Well, first of all, Alex Johnson will call. If he calls, first of all, you got to realize he's smarter than you. You got to immediately know that. Alex is smarter than you. So when you have a conversation, he lays the groundwork to let you know he's the smartest one in the conversation. His arrogance, okay? And Nathaniel Darnell needs to go home, I'll look you in the eye, and take care of his lovely wife Abigail and his children and get his life in track on order, okay? Hey, Tom.
Oh, I'm not mad.
I said it. I said it. Because this was always a lie to the organization. Brad Raffensperger will be gone Tuesday.
We hope.
He'll be gone Tuesday. But at no time was he never going to run as a Republican.
What do you
At
mean?
no time. And you got the emails and the emails that he was breaking all the rules.
Well, hold on a second. The body of the GOP finally voted that resolution in.
Yeah, okay.
The GOP did not honor that resolution, but
Okay.
that was monumental, Brian, getting that over. Maybe, just maybe it didn't amount.
Go to the next one. I think
All
I
right.
have another one. Go to
But
the next
I'm proud of that. I'm
one. Okay,
proud
good
of that.
good. I'm happy for you. I am. I'm happy. If there's anything I go away is that you're happy with that.
Hey,
I'm happy for
I'm
you.
going to look you right in the eye and tell you that I still believe in the GRA. We don't have
Okay.
to get off into that.
No,
but
let's hit
I
it. I
find
love
it-
the people in the GRA.
I understand, but I still think that Alex and Nathaniel have a place in this story. They may not be the great, like I said, I can't argue with all this
No,
stuff.
no,
but
no, 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 no. They,
I think they're okay, man.
that's okay. You can think that.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing right here, okay?
Yes.
Focus on me real quick because I don't want you to miss this point. I'm right. You're wrong. We're going to work around it, okay? We're going to work around it.
I'm not.
We're going to work around
I'm not
it.
turning in my badge, but let's keep going.
No, the point I want to make
Yeah.
is you realize where we're at in the party.
I do.
You got to think it all the way here.
I understand.
get the emails. Okay? I told everybody. We'll get there in a minute. I told everybody. Jason Frazier's not going on the Fulton County Election Board.
Which is insane, though.
But I told everybody.
No, but
But we don't correct things, Roy.
Well,
we don't do it correct.
you're right about that. Fulton County, they're the Wild West. They get away with everything. How
Well, let
can
me
we
ask
have
you a
these numbers
question.
and we not deal with the
Let me
county
ask
like
you a
that?
question.
Okay.
We'll get off that. But you're so hung up on Nathaniel and Alex. You do not hear me saying, I dislike you and your badge. I'm here tonight. I knew you were a member when I got here, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And I knew how you felt.
Right. But I knew you were a member. There's members all across the state. I love those people. I don't dislike them. But I'm going to tell you something. You sure as hell, if you're going to hang on to the GRA, if you're going to be part of the group, you as part of the group, you guys sure as hell didn't take my back when I tried to get rid of Raffensperger.
Well, I want you to
Oh,
know.
no, you didn't.
I want you-
Alex will say, oh, I didn't realize you were going to do that.
Look, I've always took your back anyway. This
wait a
me
minute.
personally.
I publicly, as first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, I publicly put out to Josh McCoon. And guess what Josh was on that day? A member of the GRA.
You're correct.
Publicly put out to the leadership of the GRA. I publicly put out to Josh McCoon. I was first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party, and I asked for us to have a meeting and make a decision on removing him properly
Yeah.
from the Republican Party,
Ratsberger.
just like Liz Cheney. As the first vice chair, I called the Wyoming Republican Party. I talked to them. I studied their resolution. They told me how they did it. I took it to Josh, and that's when many things got in place that I needed to be removed. Now, you went to a convention. You passed a resolution. We can argue that the cows come home if it was binding or non-binding. Okay?
Agree. I get it.
Okay? But they were never taking Brad Raffensperger off there, and all Alex Johnson did is kept whooping the base up into a frenzy, his membership, that Brad Raffensperger wasn't going to be on the ballot. I will never look at you and mislead you. I applied for membership twice,
I understand you did.
and they're going to tell you that's not the reason why I didn't get it. Now, let me tell you the end all, okay? Because at the end all, I didn't like him when I got here. I won't like him when I leave. I won't like him tomorrow. You know why? Not because of anything they did to me, because what they keep doing to their base and their membership. Now, the only thing we have left as a party
Okay.
is qualifying. It's all we have left. It's all we got left.
You're right. I can't
That's
disagree
it.
with that.
Qualifying. They are sitting down in Atlanta. We were sitting down in Atlanta, okay? I always look at everything. What are we accomplishing? You know, there's the win the battle and lose the war. You know that, right?
I get it.
So when I do anything, I sit down and I say, what am I accomplishing? I've been in business for years. I used to run a lot of business, What are we accomplishing, right? There was GRA members that were still GRA members that would be concerned that I'd have my hands on a checkbook.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. I understand.
Now, moving past that,
okay,
what are we accomplishing? Because I tried to go to them and talk to them about their accountability rule. I tried to, all right, in their purity test. When we started tonight, anybody watching, go back, start the tape. You see who I am. The values I gave you, right, that who I am, actually, if you go look at the GRA values, they match up in what you guys say are the conscience of the Republican Party.
Right.
What have you guys accomplished? Oh, wait, no. I didn't really want to know. What have you accomplished? You accomplished, right? We have qualifying. We got to get back in tune. We got to turn the ball on the Republican Party, get some respect by our lawmakers around there, get them to listen to us. They are sitting in Atlanta right now with the legislation ready to pull the flag. You just watched it in DeKalb, Gwinnett, with them making those offices nonpartisan, right?
Yes.
You are sitting there. They are waiting to take qualifying away from Walker, your county, my county,
right,
whatever.
Right.
They're waiting for it.
I agree.
Okay. Now, Raffensperger is a non-issue. It didn't accomplish anything. It doesn't accomplish anything.
No. Okay.
It doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't get us anywhere. We have to get back. See, if what most people don't understand, and I know this comes across really like pushy, but what most people don't understand, I've heard Alex argue, the right to assemble and the right to have, like the Republican Party, we have the right to say you can be in our group. Okay,
yes.
I'm just paraphrasing. Okay, but you know what? Until we get the state to open it up to where we can have other parties qualify, and we don't have the Democrat and Republican Party in full control, we can't enact that. We can't say you totally hold the access to something
Okay.
and the right to disqualify me from it. There's a fine line there. No matter what they want to argue, there's a fine line there. So let's fight to get other parties able to get on the ballot. Then, if you don't like what I want, you got the right to say, I don't want you in my party, and I can go over and get in this party,
right,
and I can qualify on the ballot there.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand. But I have to add a defense to this before we move on. This is how I look at everything, because I'm the same. I don't like being in a lot of groups. I joined the GRA a long time ago, before many people up here even knew I was in there. I have a lot of respect for Alex and Nathaniel, and no, I don't like the Frost situation. I don't like the fact they used the PAC, but I'll tell you, and I don't like what they did to you, and I was vocal about that, okay, before I even knew really who you were. I never supported anything that the GOP or the GRA blocking you, David Cross, or the people. But I believe in Providence, and two things. One thing that this resolution did was it showed the hypocrisy of the GOP literally blocking Jeff Duncan for going on a few talk shows and then telling him that you cannot run as a Republican. In that situation, Jeff Duncan gladly said, fine, I'll run as a Democrat, right? The same way that accountability was put up here in Catoosa County with the biggest fight of its life, yet it was put down in Gilmer County with zero fight at all, right? So I will say that in defense, the Providence was we showed the total hypocrisy of the GOP that were willing to do this on one side but not willing to do it on the other. And the second thing is, because of the growth and the Frost family and so many good people in the GRA, like exposing this corruption and bringing it to the attention and telling the leadership that we're not going to abide by this. When the big exodus happened, it was as if we flushed the toilet with some of the worst people that could have ever been in that organization, and now it's building its way back up, and that's why I still believe in it. And I would gladly vote you in at the GRA, and I will look at the camera
listen,
and say it,
I don't want to be in any organization that has Alex Johnson or Nathaniel
that's
Darnell.
my position,
all right?
And I'm going to stick with them.
I've not always been the citizen you see before you today, but I knelt before the good Lord. He forgave me. I don't look for other people to do that.
But I love it.
And I will never be a part of anything that I don't need Alex Johnson and Nathaniel Darnell, because the first thing I don't want to go there and take any more of our time, but I will say this, the bottom line is I want to be very clear. I have never personally called out GRA members. They get mad at me. I get it. But there's a hierarchy now. There's a hierarchy, and why they have to try to control the power. Mm-hmm. You look at the power structure in the governor's office, and you say we got to break that. And you look at the power structure over at the GOP, and you say we got to break that. But somehow the power structure where you're at eludes you, and the control of that. Sorry, I will tell you like this. We can get an accountability, but we have to do it in a way that we make sure we don't disqualify somebody from the ballot because we don't like them. Mm-hmm. I'm not accusing somebody of doing that. I don't know the details.
I agree with you.
And we need to fight to accomplish something. But Raffensperger was not the win. And you've got to figure out your win. And Jeff Duncan went to the Democrat National Convention and endorsed Kamala Harris and campaigned for Kamala Harris against our ticket. Yeah. And we removed Jeff Duncan. You brought it up, but we removed Jeff Duncan through the process of the executive committee of the GOP, not the delegates at the convention.
Okay.
So it's not an argument there, but what I'm saying is when that resolution passed, there was never a day that Raffensperger wasn't going to be on the ballot. That's all I'm saying. There was never a day. So if you have a lot of energy in the course of the day, what can you accomplish, or are you just going to whoop people up in a frenzy?
Well,
what frustrates me is anything that happens where I see somebody's just getting whooped up into a frenzy. I can't stand that. Don't lead by emotion.
No, it's a good point of clarification, and I'll accept that. I still look at it as a victory that day because we got our asses whooped that day in every way, shape, and form. But it was a victory, and I'm not in, but I have some faith. I know you're not mad, and this is what's so great is we can sit here and discuss this.
Hell, when you get up in the morning and you know you're right, you don't get mad. I mean, why would I get upset?
I love it, but you have points. I get it. So we're gonna ride our ways on that one. So
I'm okay.
Me too.
I'm good with that.
All right,
go to the next one.
Yes, man, this is good.
I don't like when let's go to the governor's race.
Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, all right, here we go.
There's the whole thing, okay? I have one brother, all right, and I like to say I'm not the only hell my mama raised because I got a brother. So I got a brother, and I grew up in a time where we had a rule in the house. And Dad said, if you tell the truth, you don't get a whooping. Now, if you don't understand what that whipping, whatever, and for you out there, you don't get abused because now I guess it's child. But if you tell the truth, you don't get a whipping. That's the way I was raised, okay?
Okay.
And my dad went to his grave and he hated a liar.
Okay.
Hated a liar. And it was just tough. And I'm not looking at you today. I'm not George Washington. I did chop down the cherry tree. Okay, so I'm not telling you I've never lied. I'm not telling you that, okay? I'm not telling you, like I said, I've not always been the citizen you see before you today. I've done things wrong. I had to atone for them, all right? But if someone lies to me, I study things. I'm not good with that. Okay? So there's people that have called me and said things and lie about me, right? The old one, we're going to move past. The old one that I didn't sign the thing. Mm-hmm. You remember that one?
I remember that.
Yeah, that lie. That person now is calling me, asking me for some help. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Ball spun right back around. Let's go to the governor's race.
All right, let's go.
All right, governor's race.
Looks like we got the two front runners up there.
That's it. That'll be the runoff. Now, I think I'd rather start this way on the governor's race.
Okay.
Now, remember, we started at the top of the ticket. I'll tell you why I'm doing this.
Okay.
Because of my lovely wife. So, my wife started out, oh, God, I'm going to get in trouble. I was okay with everything else till I got my wife involved.
You might as well keep going.
My wife started out not going to vote for Burt Jones.
Okay.
Not going to. Adamant. Adamant she wasn't going to. And she had her reasons. First of all, you make a major mistake thinking that I move that decision along.
Okay.
She makes her own decision, trust me. Okay. So, my wife was adamant she wasn't going to vote for Burt Jones. Not going to do it. And we'll get into that a little later. And she got very, very upset with the Frost family because my wife and I met with a couple that was 76 years old that they looked us in the eye and lost $350,000, as close as you and I. My wife and I met with them. My wife got in a car, she's crying. You know, and I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I just, you know, that's troubling." So there was a lot of things going on. She's not going to vote for Burt Jones. Well, my wife has gone full circle. She's voting for Burt Jones.
Okay.
Boy, I hope I didn't get in trouble. So we have been discussing that for a long time. And I did tell people for a long time. I wrote a lot of my Jackson articles without saying I'm
Right.
not endorsing. So I am voting for Burt. Tuesday I'll vote for Burt Jones. And I will tell you why. There's a multiple level, but I'm going to give it to you, my wife. First of all, don't tell my wife you support Donald Trump and she knows you lied.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you. Now, I'm bringing her in. It's going to be a long drive home because I'm going to get a phone call. You went to do the show, not talk about me. But seriously, see what I like to do, and the reason I am bringing that up, I like to see what other people are saying. I like to hear what other people are saying. And what really angered her in a lot of ways is Rick Jackson tried to get her to believe. She's always listened to me when I say, everything you hear, watch what they're trying to get you to believe. Rick Jackson tried to get her to believe, okay, that he supported Trump.
I see.
And she found out, no, he does not. She found out on her own. He doesn't support Donald Trump, and she lied. And my wife supports Donald Trump. Okay?
Okay.
Now, that's not the only reason, all right? I have covered politics for, my whole life, but really following campaigns. I probably went to 30 Herschel Walker events. I've gone everywhere.
Yes, you have.
Sit in the back of the room, just turn on the camera, listen. People come up, tell me stuff. I go home and process it. I study it, smoke a couple cheap cigars, you know. Sorry, kids, don't try that at home. No one try that at home. But anyhow, so I was thinking the same thing, like, wait a minute. This is a production, okay? Now, I study everything. I've been in sales and marketing my whole life, okay? So I understand how to build the sandwich, as they say, of open up kind. I understand that. I've read all the sales books. I used to manage sales teams, okay? When I come in, I know how to engage you. The old-fashioned sales, I know that. So Rick Jackson, the first time he told me that, his mom was alcoholic. His mom's an alcoholic. His mom drove him home. He had to drive mom home at night. The uncle took his Social Security check or whatever, the $68, took him to DFAX. He was hungry one night. The guy someone gave him $100 for Christmas, and he got to eat. The first time I heard that, I was like, wow, okay. And then I realized what he did, that was his hook on you. That was his emotional hook.
Emotional hook, yeah.
So
Okay.
he's a very smart man. He's very manipulating. He's very smart. He's a snake oil salesman. He's like in the old days, he's selling tonic. When he gets done, the tonic he has at the back of the bus, you'll be cured when he leaves town. But he'll be out of town before you know it doesn't work. Okay, I'm serious. He's full snake oil salesman to me. Full. Okay? So I studied that. Now, when he first announced, there was a lot of people thought I was supporting him at first. I had people say,
You're right.
Are you supporting Jackson? Right?
Yes, you're right.
Because what I did, I went to the kickoff. And at the kickoff, he wouldn't take no press. I was back on the podium. Okay? I was back on the podium. And the AJC was there, and Fox 5 and Atlanta News First. I actually know all those people. I've been to so many events. They all know me. And they all come up and ask me my take because they know I'm on the conservative side. So I talked to all of them, all right? So we were all talking on and said, is he going to do media? So his person comes up with the campaign. We said, is he going to do media? Well, we think he's going to. So they take us down front. We get to take some pictures. They put us back. And then they come back and they say, there's not going to be any questions. Okay, no questions. So I listened, and when I listened, he said some things like, I'm going to the Gold Dome, I'm going to crash the cartel.
Oh, yeah, he said all the right
said
things.
some things that, all right, I like what he said. But as my dad would say, all right, he was a feel-good preacher tickling your ears. I mean, my dad would always warn you about, I'll throw this out here for those out there. Oh, I hope I don't lose no friends. But Joel Osteen, would come on and Dad say, turn that thing off right now. He's just on there tickling your ears. So anyhow, all right.
Amen.
So sorry if I offended anybody. You'll have to just get over it. And if you don't get over it, come back tomorrow. I'll try again. So anyhow, I gave him like 45 days or like a little over a month, right?
You did.
And at this time, I'm texting his campaign manager because I got his number, texting Nick Ayers. I'll say it out loud. I'm texting Nick Ayers. I know Nick Ayers. Hey, I want a meeting with the guy. Not that I'm anything special, but get me a meeting.
Sure.
Let me sit down with him, and then I will come and report to you. You watch the show by podcast. I'll come and report to you. Hey, I sit down with him. Here's what I find, right? Okay. So I kept asking, we're setting it up. We're setting it up. We're setting it up. So, okay. So I kept coming on and telling people, hey, wait a minute, give the guy a chance. Let's see who he is. Maybe he is an outsider, whatever. At this time, we don't know he's going to put $70 million in there. We don't. He said he's going to spend everything he needs to win, but we don't know the dollar amount, right? We don't know Georgians for Integrity, that's $19 million. If it's him, or question mark. So I gave him time. I gave him time to where I was actually called by someone saying, are you on his payroll? I said, no, I'm not on his payroll. Are you sure, man? Because you're being awful nice. I said, no. I'm giving this time. So that being said, because I will say this, a lot of people were looking for another candidate at that time. And Bert needed to step up and get some fire going.
I
right?
agree. Yes.
So what I'm saying, right? So I text them, can I get a meeting? Oh, we're setting it up next week. We'll get back to you with the date. This is campaign manager at that time, or communications director. Let's say the name, Brian Robinson. Let's put it out. Brian Robinson saying, next week. Nick Ayers saying, I'm going to talk to him. They should be setting it up. Well, they hired this lady. I think her name's Jade. Okay? They shut me off. Not even return a text message and shut me off. Okay. So I go to Pickens County, and he's in Pickens County. I asked a couple questions.
This is the one you asked the questions.
No. That's Banks.
That's Banks.
So I go to Pickens County. Some people started asking him about 2020, right? He couldn't answer the question. So first of all, let's move on. Rick Jackson, if you're out there, folks, bottom line is Rick Jackson has 2020 did not disturb him, did not bother him. He thinks really, in my opinion, he thinks that we're the ones that are way out there. He has no problem with electronic voting machines. The next system that he puts in place, He's for sure not quoting him. There's a couple people down at Georgia Tech and also at Bank of America Security that could put something together that we could vote in the 20. It's the future of technology. So he's not in favor of paper ballots. Bottom line, not in favor of it. End of story. Okay. So I go to Pickens County. He can't answer questions about 2020. Just can't answer any of the questions. He said, what did he say? He said that it was ridiculous. What happened was ridiculous. No, it was a crime. No, quit saying this. Oh, 2020. Well, let me tell you what happened in 2020. That was just ridiculous. No, it wasn't. It was a crime.
True.
It was a crime.
And we all know it. Yeah,
okay?
It's true.
So anyhow, so I walked up to him after Pickens. I shook his hand. I said, sir, for the amount of money you're spending on this campaign, I think you can answer some questions, right? And he says, well, I just got into this. And I looked at him and I said, yes, that's why I just said for the amount of money you're spending, you just came to Pickens County. They voted 80% for Donald Trump in this county. This is a red county, okay? This is the county after 2020 had the first Republican Party meeting. I went to it. It was shoulder to shoulder. What are we doing? It was packed. I said, sir, I would tell my staff to brief me where I'm going. I said it nicely to him, right? So then after that, I'm doing the research, and I come to the facts. This guy gave Donald Trump $1 million on December 25th of 2025.
Yep.
You heard Donald Trump saying a donation afterwards was, it's too late. It was meaningless, right? He said it himself. So he gives him this $1 million. $1 million to a billionaire is like leaving a $100 tip, right? So it was on the December checklist, okay? In my opinion, because I don't want sued, he's a billionaire, but I think Georgians for Integrity could know something about it. All right?
Probably.
That started happening in December.
That's right.
Right,
We were
$20 million
questioning it.
right? He sends Donald Trump $1 million. He puts his team together. He launches in February. But that being said, the guy gave over $550,000 to Jeb Bush when he was running against Donald Trump in 2016. The guy gave Jeff Duncan an enormous amount of money.
Liz Cheney.
The guy gave Liz Cheney money up to 2 weeks before she got out of the race. I think it was $40,000. I think they gave like $150,000 total while she's running against Donald Trump.
That's a lot of money.
Okay, and all I asked him that night is, I laid it out, and I said, you could find money for Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, Jeb Bush, Nikki Haley when she's running in 2024. Why couldn't you find Donald Trump any money? His answer is, I got to the train late. I got to the state, got on the Trump train late, right?
Yep.
So my thing is yes, go to the next one. Georgians for Integrity. It's a Delaware corporation. Let me say this now. The man is spending. The man is spending 70. He's got 74 million. Loaned himself another 10 million.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wow.
Loaned himself another 10 million. All right, and we haven't got to the runoff. Brian Kemp spent $21.4 billion his entire campaign. Start, runoff with Casey Cagle, Stacey Abrams, entire campaign.
Not billion, but million, right?
Million. I might have said billion. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
He's a billionaire.
Sure
I might have said that. No, he spent $21.4 million. Sorry.
Okay.
This is a billionaire. This guy has got $74 million. Okay. Another $10 million he loaned. We're not even to the runoff. The guy's buying an election.
He's buying an election.
So we have to look at, like, he's resetting the and I don't like running cover for Burt, but the lieutenant governor's office, Burt can do X. So I'm not taking up for him, okay?
I got you.
But he could do X. If he can't get it to John Burns, if Kemp says at the beginning of the legislative session, don't even try it, You know?
No, I agree.
And
I agree.
and in the lieutenant governor's office, so what was it? Yesterday they put out a flyer. They put the guy out that killed Laken Riley. They're going out and saying now that Burt Jones voted to let illegals out of jail.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, Burt Jones doesn't that. You know why they're running that? Because yesterday the guy's back in court because he had an illegal at his 47,000 square foot mansion painting the mulch, got hurt. He's in court, so he's running and saying, well, Burt Jones is allowing illegals to get out of jail.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to give you just one point on him because I know we got to move.
Okay.
But give me number 24 for a second. Discretionary power or political sabotage. The legal loophole swallowing Georgia's election boards, why your vote starts at the county level, and why the GOP is losing control over it.
Okay.
Now, we're going to get into that in just a second because I got to talk about Fulton County for a minute.
Yes.
But here's one of my concerns.
Okay.
Go back to putting Rick Jackson up there.
Okay.
All right. So Rick Jackson owns Jackson Healthcare. Now, we're not going to go down this road, but we have an enormous, this is one of my concerns. I don't trust Rick Jackson. Nothing about it.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, the one reason I'm voting for Burt and I want to get Burt in office, I think, go back to 2018 when Brian Kemp, I think we know Burt, and I've told Burt this. I don't care to look at the camera, look you right in the eye and tell you. I've told Burt, you become governor, get ready, because you and I are going to fight. We're going to fight, baby.
Yes.
I mean, and I don't mean that in an ugly way.
I understand.
I'm going to be ready on legislation.
Hey.
And I've told him point blank.
If they blow their nose, we want to see the Kleenex.
I told him. I said, listen, you are my live to fight another day guy. If you go into that governor's mansion, get ready because, you know me. I read legislation. I'm strange like that. I've told him and he said, I know it. He said, I already know with you. I said, I'm going to tell you. So that's what I want to do is I want to accomplish what we've been trying to fight for. Rick Jackson's not going to let us in that office.
No.
He's going to.
No.
But
well, he's already proven that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that concerns me.
Okay.
Now, not to get convoluted, I'm going to put it in a box. They do contracts with hospitals all over the state. And they are the number one, especially in Georgia, and I think one of the largest in the United States, of contracts for
traveling nurses, right?
Well, traveling nurses and doctors and so forth. They're an employment agency in the medical field.
Yes.
Okay. So that being said, now we have several, and I live in a county, Fannin County. Our hospital's on the verge of collapse. Okay. We have several hospitals around the state that are struggling financially. They're struggling bad, okay? They need money, all right? Fannin County, that's a long story in itself.
Right.
Here's what I'm afraid he's going to do, and this is what I'm looking at. Now, I can't call hospitals because it's private. Jackson Healthcare has a private contract with these hospitals around the state. So they're not going to give me the contract. Jackson is not going to give me the contract. So let's move out to Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
Jackson Healthcare had a contract with Jackson Hospital, no relation. All right. And they had a contract to provide nurses. Jackson Hospital out in Montgomery, Alabama, they're like a hospital like us. They go bankrupt. They cannot sustain. They don't have the money. All right. So Jackson Healthcare, I'm not saying they shouldn't get paid, but Jackson Healthcare does what's called a DIP, a debt in possession, with the hospital. That puts them in front of the bankruptcy.
In other words, they get paid first.
They get paid first.
Okay.
They do a DIP with Jackson Hospital in Montgomery, Alabama. They get paid first. Okay. Then what they do is they turn around and they loan them. They turn what's owed to them. Let's see if I get this correctly. But they turn what's owed to them into a loan.
Oh.
It's no longer owed as like You owe it like it's a bill. It's now officially moved over into a loan, and we're charging you 1% on it.
Interest.
Okay, so they charged them somewhere in the area of 14% on the loan.
Wow.
Now they're going to get their money back. All right? They're not just going to get paid like if somebody owed you $100, you got the $100 and you say, I want 125, right? They turned it into a loan. They're charging interest on it. Okay, that's what a DIP basically works like. So it's somewhere in the area of $25 million. Now, here's what happens, all right? They also got fees. So when they did a loan, just like when you go in, all right? Yeah. Now, I have not seen the document, so for them, there's a gray area. So when their attorneys are watching what I say here, there's gray areas. I haven't seen the document, but there's generated loan document fees. When you go in, there's fees. There's fees for closing the loan, whatever, okay? So they now turn this in. Now, here's what they know is about to happen, all right?
Okay.
They know the hospital is going to get bailed out. How's the hospital going to get bailed out? I can tell you. I'm going to give it to you right here. On April 28th, we're in May. It just happened. On April 28th, the state of Alabama put $40 million to save the hospital. Okay? The city of Montgomery, Alabama put $22.5 million in, and the county put money in. As a DIP lender, Jackson Investment Group sits at the top of the creditors list. DIP loans get repaid in full, interest upon the exit of the bankruptcy. So they just came out and finalized it. So I don't know if they've gotten their check.
I see.
But when they get the check, it's from the taxpayers of Alabama.
Yes, right.
Now, I'm not saying they're not owed money, but that's where they're getting the money.
Yeah, the taxpayers.
So here's where I get the fear. I am of fear. I don't care who gets mad at me out there. I'm of fear. First of all, if you're going around and you're thinking, every time he goes somewhere, he says, well, if I don't do this, I won't run again. If I don't do this, so he's not going to run again. He just, I don't.
He just wants in there long enough to secure.
So what my fear is, he gets in office, and he goes over to John Burns, and they cut this $1 billion or $800 million, and they come out and they do a press conference and they start slapping everybody how they saved our rural hospitals. And they're funding rural hospitals. And what do the people do? This way, bravo, they're saving our hospitals. Wow. They're amazing people. Rick Jackson said, but what you don't know is how many of those hospitals owe Jackson Healthcare. And when you and I, as the taxpayers, bail out the hospitals, if this happens, it's hypothetical. I'm just going on what I see happen. Jackson Healthcare gets paid in full all across the state. How many hospitals owe Jackson Health? I just want to know.
Telling.
Do you understand where I'm going?
I do. Yes.
Okay, now.
Yes.
I actually think. I told you when I came over here, I may say some things to end my career. So let's do it now, okay? Let's go ahead and do it, right?
Let's do it.
I think what he's doing is what I'd call elder abuse. I really do. Now, because he gets in these rooms with senior citizens. My mom's 82. I love my mom, okay? I love all my friends. I got a guy that calls me, he's 84 years old. I love all my senior citizens friends. As Rush used to call them, seasoned citizens, right? I love them. But let me tell you something. If I go to my mom's house, there's 90 times a day somebody calls and says, hey, if I have the last 4 digits of your Social Security number,
that's right.
I could correct this or whatever, right? So here's what I feel Rick Jackson is doing. He's going to these senior citizens, and he's saying to them, the group of senior citizens, because the majority of people that vote in the primary are seniors.
Right.
All right? Now, what they do, Roy, is they have programs. And they know, why do you think you keep hearing property tax, income tax, right?
Right.
Senior citizens. See, and then they'll say, especially for 65 and older, should not be paid. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But we all know they're going to shift the burden. They shift the burden. The ACCG, that's the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, the GMA, the Georgia Municipal Association, the State Association of Board of Education, they are not going to let you stop sending them the money.
Right.
You know, you'll get a hospital bed tax. You'll get all kinds of these other creative fees and taxes, but you're still going to pay.
Man.
So Jackson's going around promising all these senior citizens, if I'm going to I'm going to cap it, I'm going to get rid of it, I'm going to do it or I won't run again. You can trust me. No, he's not. He's not going to do it. Because one thing on taxes in this state, and we don't take no more time on that, a lot of things you want to do, you have to do in a constitutional amendment or the very next term. Someone could change it.
Exactly, just like an executive order. Right.
And when they say they cap property tax 3%, let's not go back and what they did. Now, so one, I think he's manipulating seniors. That's very, very bad. Now, let's get into, all right, Jackson will be 72 years old. All right? I have to take a deep breath. I mean, my career's over. At least I could, wish it well. People are tired of old white people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Bottom line, they're tired of it. Now, I'm going to tell you what. Senior citizens are voting. If you go look up the breakup, okay? I got it right here. Senior citizens are voting. They could get him on the general ballot. You got it?
Got it. So that's where you say runoff.
All right.
Okay.
They could get him on the general ballot. They can get him in the runoff. They can get him to be our nominee. But when he becomes our nominee, that's when people are going to say, well, young people are not voting. They'll come out in November.
Right.
Other primaries, they'll come out. And I have to tell you, Donald Trump's 82. All right. Biden was 80-some. Right. I got nothing against senior citizens. I'm getting a couple years on me. I got nothing against it.
I get it.
But I'm going to tell you, the 40-year-olds,
The younger
50-year-olds,
generations, yes.
they're tired of old white people. I'm sorry.
Well, we have the
Did
metrics
that
to
offend
prove it.
you?
No.
Okay. People can get mad all day long.
I get it.
Rick Jackson cannot win the general election. That's my point.
Okay.
So now we're at the top of the ticket again. So I'm going to vote for Burt Jones.
Okay.
And I think he can. I think this right here. One, we got to do something about campaign finance.
Big time.
And I
Big
think
time.
this right here, he's really been tested. I think he's ready to
He got a
fight.
taste of some medicine
Yes.
he didn't want.
Right.
And that's what I thought with Jackson from immediately. I just always thought he was
Well,
a
they don't
plant,
want Burt
but-
Jones because he's Trump endorsed. Period.
Well, yeah, that exactly.
Right. So
I got you. Okay.
I'm going
Fair
to
enough.
move away from some things
Okay.
because in the interest of time.
Yes.
All right.
And I just want you to know I'm fine right now. We are at 2 hours, but I'm fine. But this has been a phenomenal conversation.
We want to keep going?
Sure.
All right, because I'm not done. Now,
Come on.
let's go ahead and throw these up. I won't take but a minute.
Okay.
Let's go to number 25. That's this is a political stunt. I can't stand political
Not
stunts.
this one.
Okay, yeah, no, that one right there.
Ah, yes. Okay.
That's where he went to Fulton County. And,
That's right.
You know, this is a political stunt. This is Josh McCoon, the chairman. Okay, we are going to have to work on trying to restructure and get our party apparatus where it needs to be. So the Democrats' party is in check. People scream through this phone all they want. It's in check. Ossoff's got the party in check. They got their candidates in check. They're fired up. We have to do it, you know, with a lack of leadership. Now, I look at the camera and say to some out there in the state party, there's some good people. There are some good people, and it's not their fault. But so we're going to have to really get out and pull this over the finish line. Now,
okay.
I knew to next one that Jason Frazier was not going to be on there. I knew he was not going to be on the Fulton County. I knew he was never going to be on the election board. We have to, after this election's over, we have to go to Burt Jones as governor and the others, and we've got to get our county party election board appointments straightened out.
Okay.
Through legislation.
Okay.
We don't have time today, but we got about 5 different convoluted laws on the books. Okay?
Agreed.
And I knew Fulton County was never putting them on there. And when we get to some of these candidates, why didn't they? They'll talk about Fulton County. Why didn't we clean up these laws? You look at these counties now, they truly don't have to appoint a Republican to the election board. They don't have to.
Right.
We can go through that.
You.
But we've got to get leadership that will clean all of this up. Okay?
Understood.
Now, Attorney General, we've got Bill Calzert and Brian Strickland. I'm not fuzzy. I'm still undecided. My wife and I both have talked about this. So I can't give you my vote tonight. Bill Calzert is Brian Kemp's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
And have you heard him speak at all?
Yes. I've heard him several times.
I have too.
I'm not totally against him. I think he's seasoned. I think he might be stronger for the office. But then again, Brian Strickland has made commitments to DAs across the state to be more supportive.
He has.
And I had a long talk with him in Banks County the other night.
Yep.
And we talked about some things. I'm still undecided. I do wish, I wish right now that we had 4 or 5 candidates.
Sure, I get it.
But one of the greatest, I don't like the word failure, but one of the biggest failures in this state has been Chris Carr as Attorney General. That's why it upsets me that of all races, I can't just come out and say, this is the one I'm ready for.
I agree. I've heard what sealed the deal for me was when I was at the Power of Five and I heard Bill Calzert actually speak, and I have no interest. So,
I get it. I get that. He's a little milquetoast. He's not.
He just said a few things. I mean, it's one thing that he's Kemp's brother-in-law. I get that, and I want to get as far away from the Kemp regime as possible. But sitting down with Brian Strickland, he has the support of a lot of sheriffs, a lot of DAs. There's a lot of people that believe in him. And when you sit down and you talk with him, again, we had a candidate interview, and he didn't shy away from any question that I asked him. And I really like that. And so, I feel like that I'm comfortable with Brian.
Calzert was the first one, and this is not enough.
Okay.
But he's the first one who picked up the phone and called and asked me for my vote. And when we went to Unadilla, when we were down there at the 2nd District, he walked up to my wife and asked for her vote.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until the other day that Brian Strickland did. But I'm undecided.
I understand.
I'm not warm and fuzzy about either one.
I got you.
I don't want the same failure in the Attorney General's office because of the same thing. We're coming up on 2028, and God forbid we ever have another 2020, and who would be Attorney General?
Right.
Now,
right.
Let's go to Secretary of State.
I know you say what you're saving.
Okay.
Vernon Jones.
People are going to say, well, I thought you and Vernon were friends. Yes, were.
I like Vernon.
Passive. I have no use for Vernon.
I like him.
I get that. Remember, I'm right. You're wrong. We're working.
Well, when I say I like him, I didn't say I had a use for him. But
no, I don't like him any longer. I used to.
Oh, I see. No, I think you could sit down and have a good conversation with him.
I don't. I'll tell you why. Okay, and I'm going to give you the bottom line. Remember the ticket. Stay with the ticket. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get into dragging the ticket down.
I got you.
All right?
Okay.
Because Democrats smell blood in the water. And you may say, well, this is a down ballot. Democrats realize if they can collapse our Secretary of State, they could take governor, lieutenant governor. If they could collapse lieutenant governor, they could take governor. So we're going to talk about what's going to hurt the ticket. Now, you can go to my old Rumble channel. Well, it's still up, Voice of Rural America, the Rumble channel. You can go back and find interview after interview with Vernon. At one time, he was a friend. Now, he's the one that doesn't talk to me. I got no problem with that. He called me about a month before he got in the race. He asked me about all the races. We talked. I said to him, I think you've used your political capital. I don't think you have the political capital to step back in. I think that ship has sailed. It's friends. You've got to tell the truth to your friends.
Sure.
So I said, I think your political capital has exceeded. And he got a little upset with me. No. And I said, okay. Now, I don't know. Anybody that wants to go pay the qualifying fee, it's America, and run for office, do it. Okay?
Sure.
Do it. But if you're getting in the race for a block, I got a problem with that.
Okay.
So I think he's in the race for nothing but a block.
Okay.
Period. All right. So I don't know this. Question mark, Vernon. I don't know if he's being paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. But he is in the block to split. I'm going to call MAGA the right. He's in there to block that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can see it.
And I watched their debate 3 times. Okay.
I watched it twice.
And Gabriel Sterling, I nicknamed him Gabe Revere because he got to say the Democrats are coming 10 times. Nobody else said it. And we had black on black crime because Vernon went after Kelvin King. Yeah, I got so angry. I'm like, I don't care. This is not racist. It might be racial. It's not racist. Vernon went after Kelvin King.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, bottom line is, okay, I don't care who gets mad. I really don't. Get mad all they want.
That's fine.
Now, what he did is he got in this race for A, Tim Fleming, or B, Gabriel Sterling. Now, next week after Tuesday, if Vernon is in a runoff with Gabriel Sterling, or in a runoff with Tim Fleming or Gabriel Sterling, and June 16th will be your nominee, and you won't go vote for him.
You're right. I won't.
Boom. And he will accomplish what he was put. This is my opinion for those out there that
Man, this is good
all
stuff.
right.
I mean, this
my
is something to think
opinion
about.
is he is there for Tim Fleming or Gabe Sterling.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. Gabe Sterling's got a lot of money behind him.
Yes,
I know.
A
lot of money.
So sad.
A lot of money. He's connected. Okay?
Yes.
So why did this man go on that debate and see if he could get a fight,
Yes.
a brawl
I know.
with Kelvin King? Now I'm going to look in the eye and tell you, I'm voting for Kelvin King.
Okay.
Okay? He's a man of character. I've known him for years.
He is.
Years. Okay?
He's a good guy.
And we don't have time to go down that road, but I told you I'd tell you who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Kelvin King.
Okay.
He's a man of character. He's a good man. He will go in the office. He will test everything of right and wrong, moral, ethical. The judgment will be there. He will come talk to you and I and tell us, not like Raffensperger shut the door on us. He'll call us in the office and say, you guys are not going to be happy, but I can only get this much money, and this is happening, but we're not going to be in the dark. I promise that.
I believe
That's my
you.
feeling.
I believe you on
Now, if Vernon Jones, if he is the nominee, he will drag down the entire ticket. You're wasting your vote. All right? Mm-hmm. He will drag the entire ticket down because he's got a past in DeKalb County that Democrats are laying in waiting for Vernon. Oh, they can't wait for Vernon. They would love for Vernon to be our nominee. We won't go down those roads tonight, but they're out there. And if Vernon Jones is the nominee, Democrats are waiting. And 3 weeks before the early voting, these are all predictions, Democrats will hit Vernon Jones so hard, okay, with some things.
Gotcha.
They may Eric Swalwell him.
Gotcha.
May.
Yeah.
And guess what? That'll hurt our entire ticket.
Okay.
You understand?
Duly noted.
Next one.
Okay. Boom.
I love the guy.
I've
known him forever.
I love Ted.
But I had a talk with Ted. And Ted can't win. I don't want anybody mad at me, but Ted can't win. I have to live to fight another day. The Secretary of State's office, you do know Catherine Cox gave us electronic voting machines. We have had Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, Karen Handel. We have to take all these offices and try to nudge our way in and win. Ted Metz can't win this election. If he becomes a 3% candidate and Vernon Jones becomes an 18% candidate, it's people like Vernon Jones and Ted Metz can be the very... You know what? I don't want to. Let me look in your eye. I don't want to go, but I will.
Okay.
And write the I Told You So articles. I don't want to.
Okay.
But I will write them. Because I want to win, not the elections. I want to win all these things we're fighting for. Cleaning up our elections, right? Campaign finance, restoring our party, stopping the data centers, stopping the stealing of water, stopping being a colony of South Korea. I want to win those things. I can't get it with these people. Mm-hmm. So I got to fight. You understand?
I understand.
So I love Ted Metz. I want everybody to know out there, I don't dislike Ted Metz can't win. Next one.
I love Ted Metz.
I think he's a great guy. Gabe Sterling.
Oh,
I'm going to
one
tell
that called us a bunch of dumbasses.
Yes, but he got to say while and look at the next one, number 31, Tim Fleming.
This guy's not even showing up.
Look, he was put on the election blue ribbon panel, right? And I tried to tell my friends, and I keep saying this, I love these people. I said, you're packing these rooms for nothing.
Oh, I can tell you that. I went to one of them.
You're not getting anywhere.
It was a big, huge nothing burger.
Right. Tim Fleming, they're not getting anywhere. He didn't even show up at the debate.
Yeah. It was
Vernon Jones.
He did not.
Vernon Jones went on a slugfest. Go to the next one.
Yeah.
This is what we got. Here's Kelvin King. And yes, I'm going to vote for King. Now look at the next one. This is what the AJC loved.
I got to throw Kelvin up there real quick, and then I'll...
Yeah, okay.
There we go. Oh, next one. Boom.
The AJC loved that.
Oh, I bet they did.
They did. Look,
Yeah.
I don't care. Two black men pointing at each other.
I know. It was embarrassing. That debate was embarrassing altogether. I thought
Vernon should have took the whole entire time and beat up on Gabe Sterling.
I know.
And so should all of them. And they should have went after Tim Fleming.
They should have.
Vernon ran that on purpose. All right. So no, I don't want to be ugly. I swear I don't want to be ugly, but I don't like Vernon anymore. All right, now here let's go to Lieutenant Governor.
Okay.
That's my boy David Kelly Loeffler.
David Clark. I like David.
You like David. I figure you do.
I do.
I had to drive 2 hours over here to set your ass straight.
Hey.
All right, I like David. Wait, I like David. I talked to David the other night. I was in Banks County. I shook his hand. We stood and talked. I don't dislike David. But let me tell you something, okay? Remember, we got to get things done. All right? Now, a lot of people say, well, he's battle tested. I keep hearing it. I was a Green Beret. I respect his service. I really do. I really got mad at Dolezal. We'll get there in a minute. All right? To the Weasel. Hey. We'll get there in a minute. All right? Greg the Weasel. Yes, he's a weasel. Okay? I give him credit for only one thing. He does his own stunts. He's a political stuntman. Now,
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. Here you go. David Kelly Loeffler. David used to be a real fighter in the house, and him and Kelly had coffee one day, and he changed his tone. I'm just saying that. I know this for a fact. We don't have time. Anyhow, I like David. But let me explain something to you. He is a member of the House. Now, I know the people that are yelling through here, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. He's a member of the House for 10 years. He's not a member of the Senate. Jason Avanatardi, or whatever his name is, and Larry Walker, if he gets elected, they will change the rules on day one, and David Clark could take a checkerboard in there and play checkers in the lieutenant governor's office because they'll strip him of all the powers. Okay? He's a House member. Nobody liked what I just said. Nobody liked it. But what they know out there on your show, is I just told him the truth. He's a House member. Now, if he's an outsider and he runs for lieutenant governor, but he's a 10-year House member, he's always been a House member. The last time, and this is not fair to David, because David is a good guy. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy, period, okay? And when we get done, you're not going to hear me say anything like personally negative about David.
I got you, man.
But the last time we had a House member, his name was Jeff Duncan. House members don't jihad in the Senate. Okay? They don't. And if for any reason we run into a problem in 2028 or something like that, David would side, my opinion, David would side with the House and not his caucus.
Okay.
That's my thought.
Okay.
You got it?
I got it.
All right. So I'm not knocking him, but I don't think he would have the door open as lieutenant governor. I don't think we're going to get accomplishments. Now, the other thing with lieutenant governor, as we talk, we got to look at the elephant in the room. What if the lieutenant governor has to work with a Democrat governor's office?
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
So we have to pick a lieutenant governor, one, that we can move the ball. Two, we can get in the office. Two, we can fight, like I said, with Burt Jones. Three, okay, can accomplish things. I don't know what number I'm at.
Four,
and work with the Democrat governor if necessary.
Okay.
Now, go to the next one. So let's just make everybody mad. Let's have fun.
Okay. I knew this one was going to be the hardest one.
It's not hard. You don't go this wide. I'm studying politics. You don't take this wrong. You don't study politics.
You're right. That's why you're here.
You're narrow. And I don't take that wrong. I like here. I wouldn't have drove 2 hours.
I don't take offense.
No, I'm serious. I think the world of you. I really do.
I look
you in the eye. But you're here. Mm-hmm. I put everything on the whiteboard.
I get it.
Okay? And I'm not getting personal with anything. I'm like, how do we win? How do we accomplish things? How do we fight? How do we get things done? So we have to have people that can get things done, right? Now,
all right.
Here's the only reason I brought up sports betting. I'm very upset with that. We don't have time with it right now.
I know.
This is just a headline that says 10 million. I think there's up to 100 million been pushed in here.
Lots.
Now, this is where I'm going to get yelled at. You know who David Clark's father-in-law is? Brandon Beach.
Brandon Beach.
Right. All right. I have no use for Brandon Beach. He's in the Treasury, and they give him coins to play with or something in there. Okay. Brandon Beach he's a treasurer or something. But Brandon Beach pulled one of the ugliest stunts in this state. He's his father-in-law. Blood is thicker than water. Got it?
Got it.
Okay? His wife, Brandon's daughter. Now, not getting ugly, but Brandon pulled the ugliest stunt I ever seen, taking the soapbox derby bill of 3 pages and adding 55 pages on, trying to get gambling in this state. Mm-hmm. Now, let me say this. People are going to look at me and say, well, he's in the Treasury now. Brandon still has gambling tentacles somewhere. I know those tentacles are somewhere.
Okay.
And I tell you right now, if David Clark, now I don't know if anybody can stop the gambling. I don't know if anybody can.
Right.
I don't know if it can.
I don't know.
But if David Clark is in there, Brandon Beach is his father-in-law. I'm just nervous. I want to take every possible way to stop gambling. I am totally adamantly one of the number one things destroying young white men.
Come on with it.
Young white men is sports gambling online, destroying them.
I totally agree with you.
And someone said to me, they called me one day and said, why are you against gambling? Is it a religious thing? I said, no. It's not a religious thing. Why would you ever pass something that a percentage of the revenue has to go over here for recovery programs when someone is addicted? So if you know you're passing something that's going to addict a percentage of your population, and young men don't buy the diapers and don't buy the milk and don't pay the mortgage, and they're put out, and all of a sudden over here, we've got to start paying the bills.
Hey, Brian,
I mean, come on.
How are we a state that wants to focus on mental health and making people better, and at the same time wanting to put
and creating
gambling.
vices. That's so. I'm totally against it, and I want to be very, very clear to David Clark. I shook his hand the other night. I like David Clark. David Clark's a good man. He's a good father, good husband. I like his brother Josh, but he's not going to be the guy that could be lieutenant governor, get in there, work with his own caucus, and move the ball across the finish line.
Okay.
Not going to be. Next.
All right. Next is.
All right. I didn't do this. So the reason I bring this up, I didn't do this. Okay? Now, for those out there that may get offended, I did not make this. Someone else did. And like I told Roy when we started, when we started this show, we talked about certain things we don't want to talk about. But 4 or 5 news outlets did this story, okay? And David Clark, and David, let me look in your eye if you're watching. I did not like when David Clark did the Hillary video. Yeah, I didn't like it. Okay?
That was uneasy.
Now, if anyone is concerned about Blake Tillery, and the only reason I put this up is Roy and I didn't do this. David Clark did a video. News networks did it. Roy and myself here, we did not call him Hillary Blake.
And
we didn't.
I'd like to add a disclosure to that, too.
I didn't do it. You didn't do it.
Well, I didn't, but I interviewed Blake Tillery the other day, and I explained to him how our Meet the Candidates interview went. I said, I'm here to listen to your campaign. And I brought up the Hillary. I said, I'm not planning on talking about it, but he was willing to talk about it if we wanted to. I said, if you want to bring it up, that's fine with me, but I'm more interested in hearing you, getting you on record, talking about what you want to do. So I just wanted to throw that out, that he would have been more than willing had I have. I didn't want anybody to think that we were skating around that. So,
well, let me say this. Okay, so I've met Blake several times.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay, I've met him several times. And he has asked me for support. He's asked me to get behind him. And he is an attorney. He has a lot of attorneys. If you go look at the money behind him, he has a lot of attorneys backing him across the state. Those are things that people could go look at, okay? That they could go look at. But I seen him in Unadilla, and I called him aside. I look people in the eye. I mean, I'll talk to you direct. I don't do anyone wrong. I've talked to Greg Dolezal direct. I have asked Greg Dolezal the question directly face-to-face that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And the only reason I'm going to talk about it in a minute, remember, we're talking about the ticket and winning.
Gotcha.
And I'm not, there's not a candidate on here that we're talking about that I dislike them. Mm-hmm. I'm proving my point, what I'm saying.
I understand.
Now, so I went up to Blake, and we were at Unadilla, and I called him aside. I said, look, Blake, this is right after David released this. I said, David released this. I said, Blake, I have everything on my desk. And he said, Brian, you want to talk about it? We'll talk about it. I said, no, we don't have to. I just want you to know now that these news networks have done it, if it comes up, it comes up. But is there something you want to tell me or anything? And he's like, we can talk anytime. So he has been open. I want to say that. He's been open. Yeah. But they are really going after him where he lives. This is where he lives. That's what I was going to get at. This is where he lives. Okay. They're really going after him. Now, if you hear that out there, send him a message and tell him you want to talk about it. But I told David this, and I've said it on my podcast. I'm looking you in the eye. I didn't like when David put that out.
It made me a little uneasy.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I want the offices to have a level of professionalism, level of decorum. I'm not opposed to someone just throwing a flame every once in a while. But if David gets in office, I don't want him to call his colleague Hillary. I don't want him to do that. It's just, it didn't set right with me. Those at home, if it didn't bother them, it didn't bother them, but it didn't set right with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Now, before we go any further on that, here is the reason I don't want Blake Tillery as lieutenant governor, or I don't think so. Number one, I don't think we'll get in his office. Now, when I say I don't think, I think the things we have to fight or we want to fight. I asked Blake Tillery in Gilmer County, and I have the video. I said, no, somebody asked him about the machines, Dominion machines. And he said, not to quote him, but pretty close to the quote, he said, I don't know if we should be looking at something else when we haven't paid for the machines in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he has never said anything really strong to the plus side of our next election system. Because the governor, the lieutenant governor, Speaker of the House, right? We are going to have the next election system.
Yeah.
And he's never opened up. Second, if you go and look, and I don't have time to pull it up, but if you go and look, the governor was almost forced into vetoing the budget because of the political stunts they all pulled. I mean, they all went down there and said, we're gonna grab this tax credit. We've done this. We've done this. We've done this. Well, guess what? They did $1 billion budget shortfall. So they're going to have to adjust the budget, put money in to pay out of the surplus everything that they claim they took out. So those were all political stunts. I asked every candidate. I'm going to look in the eye. I asked every candidate. I asked Steve Gooch. I asked all of them. Please don't go down there and get involved in political stunts. Don't do it to get elected. That is some of my beef with one of these candidates. Blake Tillery, he started his campaign. He was going to completely end income tax. We're going to zero. And what happened? It does it over 8 years. We're going to claw back this. We're going to claw back that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, go to the next one.
Okay.
The October surprise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't do this. And the reason I say I didn't do this is because people at home can't say, I'm leading the charge on this. I'm just sitting at home smoking cheap cigars. No, I'm serious. Did I write this bill?
No.
Did I write the Epstein bill? No, I didn't. Did I put that clause in there? No, I didn't.
The clause, yes.
Right?
I'm still a little confused on the whole thing.
So, anyhow, this is the October surprise, meaning that the Georgia Senate wants to make sexual harassment settlements involving state lawmakers public. All right?
Yes.
So, on the debate night, go to the next one.
Okay.
And this is Mr., I think it's Robertson. Is this Senator Robertson? But the governor signed this bill. Okay? Now,
yes,
on the debate night,
I remember
Blake
this.
Tillery brought this affidavit, and David Clark and Gooch signed it, and they immediately put it out.
Okay.
Well, Dolezal signed it, and Kennedy signed it.
Okay.
All right? They signed it, but they didn't publicly put it out. Now, go to the next one. This is where we have fun. Now, I didn't do that. Now, remember, I want to win. So for those out there, well, you just don't like this guy. Bullshit. This got nothing to do with whether I like you or not. I want to win. I have fought all across this state. I have given speeches. I ran all over this state to try to be on the state party so I can get a look behind the scenes. When Brian Kemp was running in 2020, I had people calling me all over saying, will you come and ask people to vote for Kemp? And I went and gave speeches everywhere and said to Republican parties all over the state. It said, if you don't like Brian Kemp, and you know who I was talking to? I was really talking to like you and people out there saying, I know you don't like Brian Kemp. You're going to love Stacey Abrams. So I can't say I've done everything I can do,
right?
But I'm not quitting. So I'm not going to let people get into these offices or become our nominees that they're going to tear us down and we can't get stuff done. Remember, this is our only chance since 2018. All right, so this is Roa Roman. So before we go any further, no, I do not support Sharia law. I don't, okay? No, I do not. I'm a Christian. I don't support Sharia law. You know what? the guy up there, you can do the research. The guy up there, I forget his name. He's the Attorney General of Minnesota, right?
Oh, yeah. I can't
He's the
remember his
Attorney
name.
General of Minnesota. His name escapes me. First guy to get sworn in to Congress with his hand on a Quran.
On the Quran. Mm-hmm.
You know, we should have been fighting for years.
Absolutely.
Okay, for years to stop all of this, okay?
I agree.
Because I've always said you can't be sworn in on the Quran and defend the Constitution.
Absolutely.
All right? And that's not something I'm trying to have an argument with Muslims. I'm not trying to fight with them. But the fact is, now,
Okay.
you see, this is Roa Roman. She did this. Now, there's a reason. I'm going to explain this very thoroughly because I'm upset with this for a reason. It's tore me up inside. You got children, you got families, you got a wife. I've seen people, and I don't like the personal stuff. And I have battled back and forth. Do you talk about the personal stuff? Really, I don't like any of it. But I have come to the decision this has to get discussed for a reason. Now, he put out, go to the next one. This is Roa Roman. This is the AJC. Brian Pritchard didn't do it, okay?
Okay.
She showed up and gave him a gift of bunny ears. She is a house member. She's a Muslim house member. This is after.
She showed up and gave that to him?
Yeah, right on the floor. That's a gift of bunny ears. She showed up, gave it to Greg in the chamber. You know why? Because you remember, he put that video out about Sharia law, made it look like those people showed up and told the white woman she couldn't drive, and had to, and stuff
The
like that.
commercial, yeah. Okay.
First of all, listen, we need to make sure at no time does Sharia law have any foothold in our state, our country, period. Right?
Right.
But to try to scare some white woman that she may not be able to drive next week, that's wrong. I'm sorry, there's wrong. And what he did was a political stunt. Try to scare people into a vote. I hate it with a passion, Roy. Can't stand it. Can't stand the scare tactic into a vote when you're not accomplishing something. All right? Greg has thrown monkey feces at the wall everywhere he could to see if he could get the base on the right all fired up, emotional, and pulled to vote for him. Period. Okay? We don't have time. I can show you every one. Now, she goes and does this. Now, I know what I'm... Let's finish what I'm saying because I get this. Oh, that's the AJC. You can't trust the AJC. Okay, fine. You got it. Oh, that lady's a Muslim. Okay, fine. No problem. But it's out there. Now, go to the next one. You see what that says, AJC? You see it says GregBunnyEars.com? You see that? Mm-hmm. Brian Pritchard didn't do that.
I've never even seen that before.
But they put it out. Mm-hmm. They put it out. I've had that website on my desk for 4 months, but I never did anything with it. The AJC did it.
Okay.
They're holding this, right?
Okay.
She did this. Now, go to the next one. Let's go to the one we really... Here is the face of it. See, AJC did this. So you can go to AJC and you can click on that and everybody see. That's what the website says, right? Brian Pritchard didn't do that. But it's out there. Now keep this in mind. I'm going to show you. They are waiting for Greg. The Democrats are praying he's our nominee. Oh, they are. Now, we want to go up against AJ. They're ready to bring AOC in, Bernie Sanders. They're waiting for Greg. And I'm going to tell you something that only I can tell you tonight. Go to the next one. Here it is, right? This is the one where, he put out that AI to make this lady think that, that's coming any day, right? Go to the next one. Now, here's our favorite girl, right? Fonnie Willis.
Fonnie Willis. Ugh.
Now, I know. Your audience is out there. But that's Fonnie Willis. Well, guess what Fonnie Willis has? Fonnie Willis has investigators. Fonnie Willis hates Greg. Everything about Greg. They hate Greg. What's that say on the bottom? What's it say?
Was just gifted buddy ears.
What's the next one say? Go to the next one. What's it say?
Some of y'all know the significance of that.
What's the next one say?
He got some strange furry habits.
Okay. Now, go to the next one. All right? You see this lady here?
Yes. Who is she?
Parks. I think she's a state senator. You know what she was going to do?
What?
She was going to run for insurance commissioner. When this came out, Parks said she changed her plans because of an obnoxious, idiotic ad or something engineered by State Representative Greg Dulles. She's running for lieutenant governor so she can go after Greg.
Oh, that's the one that's running for lieutenant governor, the one that was on the debate stage.
She's going after Greg. Now, go to the next one.
Okay.
Okay? See? It says, the publicity-hungry Dolezal, blah, blah, blah. She wants to go after Greg Dolezal, right? Now go to the next one. Park said her goal is to stop Dolezal. Go to the next one. Now, this is the most recent AJC poll. She's leading in the polls for lieutenant governor. Okay,
She is?
Yeah, but this is now. I'm not saying the polls are great. I'm just saying she's not a joke candidate.
Okay.
Okay, she's leading in the polls.
I watched that debate.
But she's leading in the polls.
Okay.
And she's running for lieutenant governor only to go after Greg. All right.
Man.
Now she has in the Blue Gwinnett and those areas. She has a lot of pull. Now let's go to the next one. Here's the actual poll out of the AJC. See, she's at 13. Now, there's 70% undecided. But I'm just saying, here's what I don't want to go to the next one. I changed my mind.
Okay.
I don't want to go past that because I don't think that's appropriate. If you can go to the number, actually 53. You don't want to go past. I don't want to do that one tonight. We're in the interest of time. No, the next one back.
Okay. This
right there. Okay. Now, stay there for a minute. Here's what I'm getting at. All right. I have had more phone calls in the circle that my gut says are true. So I'm not here to tell you I know something on the bunny ears, but Democrats are waiting for him. You see, Democrats want him to be the nominee. Now, I know this for a fact because for those out there that don't like it, there's Democrats down in Atlanta I talked to. And I talked to a Democrat that you'd throw me out if I gave you the name, so I'm not giving it to you. But I have to keep my ear to the floor on everything. I was confirmed that they are salivating Greg is the nominee. Okay? Because they plan to go after him. Now, if anything's true. If anything's true. Let's go with if. Because I'm not I didn't do anything I just put up.
No.
You understand?
I understand.
But if it's true, is the office of the lieutenant governor, if he was to be elected, would it be compromised? That's what I got to look at because I don't want someone in there that it could be compromised. Right. Okay? There's other accusations, and it's not fair to him, his wife, and his kids. But there's other accusations, okay? But this one I take for a reason. This one, I have been told there's something here.
Okay.
And if he's the nominee, 3 weeks before we go to early voting, they're going to bring down the entire ticket.
So let me interject one thing. And I'm not here to defend. I'm reacting. We're seeing this all over the place, and I'm not. I've heard some of these allegations, and here's the thing: if it was something that was illegal, between the difference between illegal and embarrassing, don't you think that if it was something that was that serious, that they would have already brought it out?
No,
really.
Why would you bring it out? Why would you keep your powder dry? If Democrats bring it out now, then the only thing that they could do is stop him from being our nominee. They want him to be our nominee. They will be if Greg Dolezal, look in the eye. Look, Greg, I'm going to tell you this because I don't dislike Greg because I don't hate anybody. The Bible, I'm just telling you, I don't get the latitude to be the judge, and I don't get the latitude to hate. I don't have hate in my heart for people, okay? Now, Greg came up and he in a veil threatened me. Okay, you know, Greg has threaten me in a veil, but I'm not afraid of him. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm serious. I'm not afraid. I'm ready to go. I'm not afraid of anybody. I've had people say, do you wear body armor? No, I don't wear body armor. I wear deodorant, but outside of that, I'm good to go. I'm serious. I'm not joking. But he walked up to me and looked at me and he said something to the fact of like, don't you think people should be careful of what they say? Why are you saying that to me? Now, I know other people that have called me. I can't confirm with Greg that said he's threatened to sue them. All right. But he tries to use these little bully tactics. He tried to do it with me. Now, when the whole thing came down with the frost, okay, I was receiving phone calls. That Greg had $3 million invested and that 2 weeks before the collapse, he got $1 million back. Okay? I put it in a maybe, a question mark. I don't ever go and do something if I don't know. So when I was doing my day-to-day podcast last year, I put it in a question mark form that I had been called that. Greg called me up and he said, Brian, you have said this and it's not true. And I said, you know what, Greg? And I did. I said, you know what, Greg? I'm going to ask you, is this true? He said, no, it's not true. I said, I won't say it again. Now, it wasn't a threatening phone call. It wasn't. We had a cordial conversation, okay? It wasn't threatening. But I had nothing to go on saying it was. It wasn't right of me to keep throwing out a question mark if the man said, all right. And I think I went on the podcast and you can find it where I said, hey, Greg Dolezal called me and said it's not true. So I never brought it up again, all right?
Okay.
There's things I still hear. And there's things I'm working
speculation.
On. It's right. This here, what I'm getting at is there's so much smoke here. I didn't do it. Roa Roman, Fonnie Willis, the AJC, somebody built this website. They're waiting on Greg. They are waiting on Greg. If Greg is our nominee. Now, Greg has pulled every political stunt he can, all right? There's a lot of things that Greg does. I don't like when he goes and starts with his Greg Tomlin days and stuff like that. I don't like any of that. I know the hooks. He can talk. Is it very well, good, well, whatever.
Well, there's one thing we're leaving out.
Huh?
He's got the best score overall, the best
I don't give a shit.
I do.
I don't give a shit. What's he accomplished?
Well, we go back to the
Let me tell you this, okay?
Under the Kemp regime, right? 8 years, all of these people what have all of them done? Very little has gotten done under here, and we got a really good shot at moving again in a new leadership position. And I'm not here to defend any of these people, but I'm saying, if bottom line, he does have the best aggregate voting for that throughout all the years.
Hold on a second. I think it's only fair right now we give him his applause.
The battles in the legislature.
Okay. So it's like, I know this is before your time, but it's like Magic Johnson said he scored 40 that night, but they still lost. Okay? Let me tell you what I think of scorecards. You ready? You want to know what I think of scorecards?
Yes.
Now, I have friends out there. I will be misunderstood, but I don't give a shit. I have friends out there that, you've got your Faith and Freedom scorecard, you got your GRA, scorecard, you got your
the John Birch Society
for
you got
scorecard,
Freedom Index.
Freedom Index. You got all those, right?
Yes.
You got people that have worked very hard to put a program together to run all of them. They're not bad people, but you know what I think a scorecard is I think it's about as good as a bingo card, okay?
You do?
Yeah, I don't read them. I have no interest in them. I don't. I'm not a liar.
No,
I have no interest in the scorecard. People will call me and say, did you see the score? Huh?
Why?
Because I see these people and their accomplishments. Look, you can hit 62 home runs. You don't get the ring, baby. You didn't get the ring. You can lead the league in RBIs. But you can lead the league in RBIs. But if you don't make the playoffs, you don't make the playoffs. If you don't move the ball, go look at Greg's legislation and see everything he got on the governor's desk and where he moved the ball in laws. Laws.
I get it, but there's so many factors here. All right, going back to the Kemp regime, I think the scorecards are great. They're wonderful metrics, so you can see the history. Because if you don't have the right leadership in place, we can't. We went back to the graphic.
Wait a minute, you just missed something totally.
Wait.
If you don't have the right leadership in place, Roy, you gotta get them in place.
Yes, but look, go back to the graphs that we shared at the very beginning. 15 years.
Right.
We've been fighting this. Every one of these candidates have been in there.
I understand. I agree.
So my point is, and I like several of these candidates, but my point is we got to have a metric. So you go back and you look at these metrics. You're like, well, who has been fighting, right? You got to understand. I come from Northwest Georgia, and I know I'm not as seasoned, but we're the ones that got Marjorie Greene in there. We got Colton Moore in there. We got people that were willing to stand up and fight in that front line, and we've never been able to have a block. We've never been able to have a block.
Yeah, but you know what?
What?
I don't want to be like this with you because I do. I love you, man. But you're missing it. We went back. I told you we got 3 lanes.
I get it.
Yeah, but you just said Colton Moore and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I live in the 9th District. I have Andrew Clyde.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. In my district, when the primary's over, that's who won. We don't have a November.
I know that. But
yeah, but we're talking about November. We're talking about November. I want to go to Atlanta and really go in and hold these people accountable. I mean,
but do you think that we will? All right, look,
we
that's
have
a question.
To. It's
for
a chance we got to get them past the finish line.
Okay.
So are you succeeding? Are you saying, let me say this. If I'm going to give you the W on the scorecards, you might be full of shit, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. All
give me the win. The scorecards matter.
I'm going to give you the scorecards win. Okay.
They matter.
You need something here. Okay. So you're ready, though, to throw in the towel to the Democrats. If Democrats win.
Here's the thing.
Because I'm not about voting R anymore. I'm tired of that myself.
Okay, but let me explain. All right. I'm to the point where I want to just throw all this stuff in the floor and walk away. I'm ready to go back fishing again. And here's why. Here's why. Because I believe that our problems far out exceed what I mean. Like I call it a clown show, and it really truly is a clown show. And the problem is that when you go back, in my mind, I look back at the last 15 years, and then you look at the principles of the party where we're supposed to be and how much that we have compromised with the Democrat Party that we never needed to compromise with. But then you look, Rhino, Brian Kemp, 8 years. He's clearly doing everything he can to work against the people. I can't. It's like being religious. Like, are you, if somebody puts a gun to your head and says, hey, you either follow Satan or I'm going to kill you, where's that line in the sand where we say, you know what, I follow Jesus? At some point, because this is not working, we have to just go on principle whether we win or lose. And maybe that's not the right, but I started this show with I don't care about winning. I care about getting principled people.
That.
Look where we're at now with
I get it.
Charlize Byrd. We all love Charlize Byrd.
I do too.
Noel Kahane.
I do too.
Guess what? We're dwindling down. We've got nothing, and
I put a post out today for
they're
Charlie.
attacking her every step of the way. So
I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I put a post out today for Charlene.
That's where
I'm tired of it. I mean, I've gone to press conferences with Charlize Byrd. I stood next to Charlize Byrd. I stand next to her tonight. If I could vote in her district, I'd vote in her district. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but if we don't keep a door open somewhere.
I know.
And, I'm going to say this.
I know.
And
I know, but
you don't want to collapse the ticket. We started at the ticket. I'm just saying.
I know.
You keep going to the score. Look, I understand. The GRA likes Greg. I get it. I understand. You guys are not allowed by your rules to go against your you're not allowed to.
I know that.
If you publicly said something against him right now, you could be removed. You know that.
I have no reason to publicly say anything against any of them.
But I understand. But according to the rules,
but yes, you're right about that.
Right. So you can't. Right.
Well, it's not that I can't. I mean, I get it. I could quit right now and say.
But I'm not saying that. But you have to. You have to because of that. You have to. Now, I'm just going to say it like this. All right. you don't want to come back and find these things out later. And I'm going to touch around the edges of them because, like I said, look, I got 6 grandkids. I got a daughter, okay? I have a daughter. I have a son. I have 6 grandkids. I have a wonderful son-in-law. You understand? I have a wonderful son-in-law. I have a wonderful daughter-in-law.
Get it?
I've got 3, and I love them very much. They live north of here in Tennessee in Chattanooga. I got 3 mixed-race grandchildren that I'm so proud of. I put up pictures with my grandchildren. Our party, not Democrat, our party members sent me letters, sent me text, told me they didn't want my kind. My kind wasn't welcome. There's someone today that finally did apologize to me, that attacked me on the state level, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking in the eye. My wife's been attacked, so I will not sit here, and I'll tell your audience, and say one negative thing that involves a wife, children, or someone I can hurt a family. It won't happen out of Brian Pritchard. I didn't do that. I'm here to try to do everything I can to get everything you want to achieve, but I got to get there in November. So I have no axe to grind with this man, none whatsoever.
I don't think you do.
And I don't, but I know, I talk to people, okay? I've had people just look at me and say, oh, my God. I could text Greg Bluestein. He'll text me back.
I get it.
People will freak out on me, but I get information. I know who's laying and waiting for us.
And look, remember what they did to you. Remember what they did to you.
That's right.
So you're still standing.
Right. I understand that.
And all I'm saying is...
So when I say the scorecard, I'm not mad at the John Birch Society. They have people I love.
Love them.
You have people in your membership that I love. I don't attack those people.
I know that.
I have someone that put a scorecard reader together that is one of the most amazing guys in the world.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I would walk to the edge of the earth. I swear to God I would. For Field Cersei and Sam Carnline. I would.
Me too.
Okay?
Had him on the show the other night.
I would. I absolutely love those guys. No, I do. So I'm not attacking
I know you're not.
Our side.
I know.
I'm trying to win in November.
I understand.
That's all I'm trying to do.
I get it. I don't take any offense to any of this.
We'll get onto this later.
So,
I
yes.
just want to show 53 for just a minute.
All right.
See, this is one of the things, like this bothers me. Okay? The eminent domain.
This was great. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
The eminent domain, yes, bothers me very much. But go ahead.
What bothers me is the stunt man drove down there as fast as he could to see if he could get in a political stunt.
I like that.
Did you like that?
Yes.
Okay, so could you tell me what was accomplished? Because you remember, that's where I go on everything.
Wait,
what was accomplished?
Nothing's been accomplished, but some things have been, because guess what? Because of the work that we've done, because we've opened up ourselves to these people, because we've got them on record, right? Because we've done all this work. Now, think about this, and I'm not throwing shade at Burt Jones, but I reread the article the other day where Burt Jones was going to do a huge $10 billion investment with a data center. And you remember the commercials when Rick Jackson attacked him, and then Burt Jones held the phone up and said, hey, no data center here. What we've done is we've created some accountability, and we've gotten our stuff on the platform, and now these guys are having to go out and say, hey, I'm listening to these people. And so you call it a stunt.
They're trying to get folks. The guy's it's a stunt.
But at least he went out there, man.
Oh, my God.
I wish all of them would have went out there.
All right.
No.
I want to ask you here's what I want to ask you. No, here's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you in the nicest way. Seriously. I want you to start, if you would.
Okay.
Put test in what you do.
Okay.
Like, okay, what we accomplished? What are they trying to get me to believe? Are they trying to move me emotionally? Okay, put some test in these things, okay? Because let me tell you something. Can I ask you a question? And this is not an attack on Greg Dolezal. He's just the one that got his Superman cape on and flew down there and acted like he was upset, okay? He's good. He's good at that, all right? Look, I'm a professional salesperson. I spot these people. People say, what? Let me tell you something. I taught sales for years. And whether you like it or not, sales is manipulation. Okay? Now, data centers, power lines, PSC races. Now, we lost 2 PSC races, right? Before the legislative session, right?
We did.
Okay. So they go in there and they pull out a stunt. And what do? This is not just Greg. They all do, right? But Greg was real good at the stunt. We're going to stop these data centers from getting all these credits.
They tried. 20 bills.
Could you let me finish? Because they definitely got you. You know what they got you? You know what they got you? You know what they got you? My dad's favorite word. Don't take offense. They bamboozled you. That's what Dad always said. No, son, don't let them bamboozle you. That's what my dad, it's what he said to me. I'm going to say, he'd always say, Dad said, son, don't let them bamboozle you. So they went in there and they bamboozled all of you, all right? In my dad's famous words, dead and gone, great Republican, all right? Great conservative, all right? So they go in there and they're going to claw back all these tax credits, right? Right? Now, what they didn't do, and the governor didn't do it, and Greg didn't do it, and Bert didn't do it, and John didn't do it, but what they didn't do is, remember when I came in tonight, I did this on purpose. On December 19th, 2025, before the legislative session, during a lame dick period, right? Before the Democrats took place in the PSC, right?
Yes.
The scope of expansion, while you remember it as 10 power stations, the approval was technically for nearly 10,000 megawatts. But remember that the PSC, the lame duck PSC, went in and passed, before the legislative session started, a mega expansion of Georgia Power.
Yes.
For data stations.
And they did, yeah.
Right?
3-year pause.
Right. But the power stations, right?
And they did it with
Stay
federal
with
money.
me. Just yes or no fact. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Now, you know what happens when they do that? They also approve transmission lines. No, wait, stay with me. These are facts. I'm not messing with you. These are facts. They also, when you build these power stations, you have to have the transmission lines to go to the data centers, right? So you got the transmission lines. In eminent domain, you have different kinds of eminent domain. But in public service eminent domains or public utilities, that bill was actually passed. I want to get it for you here because I have it, because I don't like political stunts. And when I see a political stunt, I put it together. Now, I'm not against that young lady. I like what that young lady did. I just not, it's the stunt man that gets me. That was passed, Section Code 22-3-20 in 1897, meaning that if you have transmission lines, they can come to you and say, that's in the section code. They have eminent domain. So when that lame duck PSC passed that increased powers, right? Now they got the transmission lines. So now they're going to build them. They put out public hearings and they come to you and say, I'm putting a transmission line here so we can go down in the weeds. But what I'm getting at, the end all, where Greg really bothers me, all right, is who put the bill or who stood up in the well. See, I seen Greg use my tax money to do political stunts because I watched the Senate. And he would go to the well of the Senate, right? And he would ask for, the opportunity to speak. And what brings the senator to the well today? I love the protocol there. And Greg would get up and give these speeches about Fonnie Willis and give these speeches about paper ballots and give these speeches about the election board and all these things to save America. And he didn't give one damn speech, if I can remember, about entering a bill to stop this shit. And John Burns didn't give a bill to stop this shit. Greg Steve Gooch didn't give a bill to stop this shit. John, whatever his name, didn't give a bill to shut. Not a one of them tried to stop the shit. Sorry about that. They all said, oh, property tax. Oh, cap sales tax.
I understand.
Oh, paper ballots.
Hold
knowing this. Then he goes down there. Hold what? My beer?
Hang on. And because I don't want to turn this into the Greg Dozal show, all right?
It's not.
Now,
I want
to say one thing about data centers, all right? And again, this is not defense to any of these people, but think about it. You got to think about it in the terms
I don't
of
carry anybody's
the psychological aspect of data centers. You got to understand that, like folks like us or me and different people that have been studying this stuff for a long time, it takes the public a little while to catch up.
Bingo.
All right? We are looking at voting for a governor that already had a data center plotted on their land, and everything was kudos. The data center.
Rick Jackson's for data centers.
Yes,
he's got money.
I know, but do you understand?
My friend, they're all for data centers.
That's what I'm saying.
Even the guy that went and stood at the power line thing.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot his scorecard.
All I'm saying is that is the power of the people. When we get this stuff in their head and they make them realize that this data centers don't have anything to do with anything that's pro-human. All right, what we're fixing to enter in the technocratic age of, the Industrial Revolution goes away. This is some scary crap that we got coming at us, and I'm just happy now that we have people. All of them are talking about it. All right. All of them are talking about it. Doesn't mean that we're going to stop it, but at the very least, we can get people in there that's going to try to put safeguards up if they have the power to do so.
Forget Greg's name for a minute. Forget it for a minute, okay? Forget it for a minute. We gave out tax breaks for Kia. We gave out tax breaks for Honda. We gave out tax breaks for SK Battery. We gave out tax breaks for the movie industry.
Yes.
We have given away and given away and given away. We gave out tax breaks for data centers. Now, you could say, well, this guy voted no and this guy voted yes. I'm not going to split those hairs for the interest of time because some people carry bills, some people vote yes, some people vote no to run cover, all the above. That's why if you have a bill up and you need to run cover the day, you vote no. This guy votes yes. But when you voted no, you go on the scorecard. So I'm not going to argue the scorecards, but the accomplishment of how we get candidates into office has not been elevated through educating. Let me tell you something. You ready? I know you don't like it, but you got to pay attention to it. Go over here tomorrow. Here's what I want you to do. Do me a favor. Will you do this for me? I want you to do this, and I want you to call me and tell me how it worked out. I want you to go over to the grocery store, pick up a gallon of milk. I want you to find a lady in aisle 3, and I want you to say to the lady in aisle 3 that's pushing a cart, that's looking at the price of damn Cheerios, and I want you to say, have you seen the scorecard?
I know that.
No, you don't. You keep saying that.
I know
the
that.
The scorecard's for the bubble.
I get it, and I understand that. And that's where we're at, but that's not going to change anything, Brian.
I'm not against
it. You can't get these people to look. Do you know
how many...
You
can't get them to look.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many people that are in this bubble that we're talking about that text me on a daily basis saying, hey, I'm really confused and need to know who to vote for? I totally get it. But again, and this is not a defense to any one of those people, but that's why the scorecards are so important to me because it shows where people are voting. And we've been under the Kemp regime for 8 years.
The heavy hand of a governor's office. That's right.
We have a chance. We have a chance to change the leadership. And we have a chance, and we look back and say, who could be some of the best people that are willing to stand up and willing to carry this forward? Well, you've got metrics you go by. You look at things you go by, and you're like, okay, well, these people have been in the well fighting. Maybe they didn't have any accomplishments because they've never had a chance to get an accomplishment. We said it at the beginning of the show. Brian Kemp, how are you with a guy that says, don't even put it on my desk? This is the chance, and that's what I'm looking at.
Let's get it like this. Okay, Nathan Deal. Okay. Now, Nathan Deal, okay. We're talking about how this is our chance to get things done. We want to change the players. There's a reason I want certain people in certain offices.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I'm not saying I can do something. I want to be careful with the I word. But I say, I know if I can feel I can fight, I know there's a bunch of us that can get together and go for the fight if we have the right people. Now,
all right.
let's take the names off there for a minute of like. Because sometimes when names come up, we immediately go to the, like, dislike, hate. It's like the Grinch. Hate, 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 right? Let's not do that. Okay. Nathan Deal's governor. I think Casey Cagle's lieutenant governor. David Ralston is Speaker of the House. They used to have a pre-legislative breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with that. Mm-hmm.
The three of them. Mm-hmm. The Speaker, the lieutenant governor, and the governor, Nathan Deal. They used to have a pre-legislative breakfast. And the governor would lay out what he was looking at. Speaker would say, I don't think I can get it across the table. Lieutenant governor said, if I've got to bring these three over here that's hardcore, okay, whether we like it or not, remember we talked when we started, we didn't create the system.
No, you're right. You're right.
All right, we didn't create the system. We're in it. We got to figure out how to turn it. Okay? That's where I'm at here. I'm not arguing with you. I really am not.
I know
I'm trying to tell you we didn't create the system. If we were running the system you and I wanted to run, okay, I could give you the people we'd be putting in office tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, hell, I'd be governor. I'm not joking. I'd run for governor if we were good. We had the right system. Seriously. But the point is, we used to have that. And then during the legislative session, they tried to have a weekly breakfast where they had coffee. They tried to have weekly breakfast. Now, what we need, and I've only heard one candidate say it one time, we've got to stop the day 38 and 39 legislation. That has to stop immediately.
I agree with that.
See, but what I'm telling you tonight is we got to accomplish things. So we got to get people in there that I can pick up the phone. Now, I know others can and say, look, Burt Jones, damn it. I mean, it's day 20, all right? I'm tired of you getting up there for 3 hours and naming some damn road in South Georgia and some bridge in North Georgia. And I'm tired of you bringing people up there and patting them on the back. And, stop with this, damn it.
I agree.
And make it to where in the first 5 days all legislation has to be presented.
Yeah.
Period. And it has to have time to go to committees. Not midnight that night. And then you shove a piece in a paragraph.
That's how the QR code got in there.
We know that.
Yes.
I know who we can fight with that.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to go here with you because, we didn't create the system. Now, the point is, Greg Dolezal, much you don't want to hear that name, I'll be damned if John Burns is going to have a cup of coffee with Greg Dolezal. Now, if we keep control of the House, John Burns will be Speaker. If you think it's going to be a cold day in hell that John Burns invites Greg Dolezal over there and says, Greg, what legislation would you like to have? Well, I'm sorry. I've got some swampland or oceanfront property in Arizona. That's all I'm saying in a nutshell. This is our chance in 2018. We're going to have to work. You got to realize the House could lose 5 seats.
I do realize that.
So I know people don't like hearing this, but we're going to have somebody in the lieutenant governor's office that can work with Burns, stand up to Burns, stand up to a Democrat governor if it is, or put the brakes on.
So who's left?
Steve Gooch. I'm going to vote for Steve Gooch Tuesday.
Is this the next person? Is there anybody left?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Because we do need to start wrapping it up a little bit.
Well, why?
Because you got to get home.
Hell, I'm here.
So you're telling me that Steve Gooch is your pick?
Absolutely, I'm voting for Steve Gooch.
Okay. And you think that Steve can do all these things? Which, by
not
saying,
all these things is a big word. I don't think we have a perfect candidate.
Okay,
I don't want to go.
And I want to go on record and say that I like Steve Gooch. I like all of these guys. Okay, and Steve was in here, and I could sit there and pick his brain for 3 hours and just talk to him about how this works, which is my focus. How does all this work? How does a common man? How do we make the bubble bigger?
Can I ask you a question? This is not. We keep going. No, we keep going down a road like I'm trying to be negative.
You're not.
Out of all the guys you sit and talk to one-on-one, not me calling you, I've never actually made a phone call to you and tried to sell you this
Can
guy.
I interject something real quick? Just for the sake of our audience out there. Have you and I ever talked about or plotted anything or had more than just a regular conversation?
No.
Or did we even talk about this show tonight?
No.
Okay. Thank you for admitting that. So go ahead with your question. Because I want people to understand out there that
I call you every once in a blue moon and say, what the hell's going on the 14th?
there you go. But what I'm saying is that we don't work in the shadows. Exactly.
No.
And I want people to understand that.
We didn't script anything tonight.
Exactly.
We didn't script anything. The only thing I asked you before I came over here tonight is, do I have the green light?
Do you have any restrictions? I said no restrictions.
I think the world of you since the day I met you. I think the world of you. I think the world of you tonight. Nothing has made me mad. Nothing has made me angry. I'm going to go pray for you. I can see areas you need prayer.
That's all right.
I'm funny, man. I'm just having fun.
Your voodoo's not working on me.
I'm just having fun. Now, with Gooch,
okay.
I've never called and tried to sell you on him. But I have a question.
Okay.
Out of all the people that you came here, all the people that you brought here or had on your show, out of discussing the lieutenant governor, did you learn how that office works more with him as far as what they do, how they get things done, how things happen? I mean, was he more informative about certain things that took place or whatever? I don't know what time you had.
Yes, he was. And because I asked him.
Right. Mm-hmm. I watched him in the debate. Mm-hmm. You go watch the whole debate. He was the adult in the room. Okay? He can explain to you how it works. Now, I get people send me messages like, well, he sponsored this. They're right. I don't run away from that. Well, he voted for this. They're right. I don't run away from that. Okay? But I'm telling you right now, if we get a Democrat governor, we haven't talked about John F. Kennedy because he is a total no.
We don't need to talk about John F. Kennedy.
He's a total no.
He's a hell no.
If we get a Democrat governor, I'm going to make sure I say it another 20 times. I like David Clark. I don't diss David Clark. I think he's a good man, period. I'm going to say it. But to do the job, if we get a Democrat governor, God forbid, or even we get Burt Jones and we get John Burns, I mean, Gooch has said in an interview somewhere before, something I've listened to, you know, he wants to get back to a weekly breakfast. He wants to stop the 38 days, putting a bill out in 38 days on day 38, 39. And I tell you, I know this. We can get in his office. Now, I think you've said this to me, so I'm going to put you on the spot, but if you haven't, I'm not saying anything accomplished, but you said, like, all the times you've gone to the Capitol, if you see him, he says hello.
He is. He's been always willing to stop and talk.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I think we could fight the battles. So, in kind of a wrap-up, Burt Jones, I have said to him and looked him in the eye, don't think I'm voting for you and I'm not writing any Jackson articles because it's for you. It's the right thing the voters need to know. But I will be there front and center with the Sam Carlines, with the Field Cerceys, with the Roy, with Julie Allen, with anybody, Jason Frazier. I will be there front line with them fighting you, Bert, on legislation.
Well,
I told him that. And I said, Steve, you know this. Steve, I will bring them to the Capitol. We will come to the Capitol, and we will fight for the right things. See, I'm a fiscal conservative. The damn budget's gone up $11 billion in 8 years. You're okay, right. I'm tired of it, all right? I'm tired of that stuff. So, you know, I've told him that, all right? Same thing with Kelvin King. I really feel if Kelvin King is Secretary of State, you called me up, Garland called me up. I mean, I've told Garland this. Garland, we will ask Garland Favorito. I mean, I'm not trying to put him on the spot, but he will tell you, moving the ball, he moves it with Steve Gooch. He'll tell you point blank, okay? Call him up and ask him, all right? So the bottom line is, and Steve has said paper ballots. And where I'm getting at with that is everybody that wants to go fight the battle, I think these are the people. Kelvin King, he won't run from us. We could call him. I've seen you guys go to the Capitol. go in. My friend over here, Lisa, likes to chase them down with a video camera. She is a great patriot. I absolutely love her. She's a dear friend of mine, and I think the world of her. I think the world of all of you, Hey, they're going to build that mental hospital, $400 million. The 4th floor is going to be for the batshit crazies. We're going to have a direct line. We put the batshit crazies in the 4th floor. Anyhow, that being said, okay. But the bottom line is, we can go and say, Kelvin King, what's your schedule? Can you get us in the conference room and sit down and let him look at us and say, well, I can do this. I have this in the budget. I'm going to ask for this. Not the Brad Raffensperger slam the door.
I agree with that.
All right. So, and the ticket, Bert, Gooch, Kelvin King, Brian Strickland, if that's who I'm still undecided. We haven't talked about school superintendent. We don't need to go there. We could throw it out really quick. But if we go down that lane and keep it where we could fight another day, and we don't have the Democrats giving them, we don't want to give them a gift. And I'm telling you right now, we got 2 offices we're going to give a gift to if it happens. We don't want to lose the ticket. All right? We don't want to lose the ticket. So for your favorite candidate that you like, I'm not telling you this, but some of your viewers, you may have to just close your eye and say, well, but I do want Burt Jones. Now, I know I got stubborn people out there say, well, it won't happen. Okay. I will tell you this, I don't want to, but I'll write the I told you so articles. I got to have something to do when I'm smoking a cigar.
Write them. Look, hey, like I said, we can agree on most of everything, all right? We can agree on most of everything. Whether you're right or not, I am a full 100% vote your conscience for this election. And I got my metrics, you got your metrics.
You know what? We put this up here earlier. I'm tired of people telling me to vote R. Because what I told people in Macon and what I tell people all the time, if you keep saying vote R, we actually have people saying now, why? Okay? I'm with you on that.
I got you.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on getting the party back into a position where we can qualify our candidates, get our money. I want to fight these funding packs, these leadership packs. I want to fight them. I'm going to write an article. Let's close up. I'm working on a book right now.
Okay.
I'm working on a book. I'm going to write a couple books. In November, I'll be making an announcement. After the election in November, I'm going to do one of 3 things. I'm going to run for office, or I'm going to run for another office after November, depending on some things, or I'm going to retire, or maybe be a Walmart greeter. One of the 3.
Believe me, retirement's in
But I do want to tell you, I've never done anything unless I have the full support of my wife. So I have to have that. But depending, you might want to call me the day after the election, and we'll see in November how it goes. And I may tell you what I'm running for.
Okay.
That depends.
I'm
not stopping. My dad died a Republican. And somebody said to me, after everything you've been through with the Republican Party, still say, I don't do this very often. We're going to throw it out here tonight. We've been transparent. I'm going to be 62 in a couple months. I know I don't look 62, and don't try to test my 6-inch punch, okay? Don't test me, okay? One thing Dad always said, don't start a fight with an old man. But that being said, okay, some people have said to me, why you want to keep doing this? I have to tell you, my dad, lifelong Republican, I'm not quitting. I'm not going to. I want to see us get back. I can't pull the date up, but Ron Paul said, and I can't quote it, that we lost the republic when JFK got shot and assassinated.
And that's probably true.
That's what he said. Now, I could get the quote, but you can go look it up.
Sure.
That we lost the republic. Now, I was born just a tad months after JFK was assassinated. You realize then, realistically, I've never actually lived in the Republic. I'd like to restore the Constitution, the values for our children. I have 6 grandchildren. So I'm not going to stop fighting. I can't stop fighting. I don't want to just give up, right?
Right.
I don't want to give up for my children, my grandchildren. So I'm not going to get out. I mean, I've been battered, bruised, and beaten, but as soon as I heal up, I come back out, and I'm not going to stop. I'm never going to stop. It's really strange. Like, I like it. It really is.
Love
I
the
do.
abuse.
Yeah, I like it. I get up in the morning and I like it.
Well, it's addictive
I can't
to
figure
me.
out what's happening in a movie. I can't.
get-
I watch a
get what
movie
you're
with my
saying.
wife, and my wife has to tell me what's happening in the movie.
And that's
But politics?
I know, and it's crazy because everybody's out at the football games on Friday nights, and everybody can tell you what number and what name and what jersey. And to me, it's just like, if you're over here putting this much effort into the things that we've done, maybe we can get something. And that's why we don't get anything.
Okay, so I got to give some advice tonight.
Okay.
Don't smoke government weed. Don't smoke government weed. I'm telling you, if you're out there tonight, old hippies, find you an old hippie, get you a dime bag. Sorry, I know moms, dads out there. Don't smoke government weed. It is laced. If you don't understand what I'm saying, the CIA, let's just say MK Ultra, LSD, they tested you before. The weed today, it's 50 times more potent than an old hippie wearing a tie-dye shirt back in the 60s was selling. It is chemically treated. It's messing with your kids, okay? So I don't care who got mad. Young men that we need to come up and be fathers, right? Be husbands, support their children, be the next leaders in this country. They're being destroyed by online gambling, government-laced chemical weed, okay? Don't do it. Yeah. So, one of the saddest things that happened in this country, in the 50s, that's when cool started. Elvis, it really did starting in the 50s, right? The 60s took it to another level, okay? Now, we perfected it. I'm a kid of the 70s. We perfected it. And you damn people screwed it up. You don't know jack shit about being cool.
Come on, the 80s.
No,
awesome.
You guys are not cool at all. I mean, kids today, there's not a damn thing cool about these kids. It all ended in the 70s. I can't stand when people don't have fun. We can talk politics.
I love
have
it.
some fun, man.
Listen,
my grandkids,
and
my nieces and nephew. I'm Uncle Brian. Oh God.
So look, it's 3:28. Can you believe it? It doesn't even feel like it's been 3.5. I know you got a long drive home, and we're not going to do comments tonight. I'm sorry, guys, but we don't have any time.
Are they calling me names?
No, but I want you. I urge you. No, I mean, there's a good discussion. There's good
Are
discussion.
you telling me I have a career tomorrow?
What I'm telling you is, I want
It's
you
not
to.
over?
I want you to go to the comments whenever you get a chance, and that way we don't upset. But this has by far been the longest podcast I've ever done. I really, really, really appreciate you coming up here. I really appreciate everything that you do.
Hey, look, dude, I've been thrown out of better places. You don't have to be so damn nice.
I'm just saying, I do. I through all this political show that we've been through, and everything that you've been through, and that we've been through, and what we're about to go through, I just appreciate it. And
I'm getting text messages.
I appreciate you sharing everything here. And like I said, I want to urge everybody out there. Again,
I didn't say the word endorse.
No, we're not
endorsing. But I got to do this. I didn't say the word endorse. And the reason I didn't say that, people get mad at me and say, well, why didn't you say? Because I want to be clear on there. I did not tell anybody to go vote a certain way. I didn't tell you not to vote a certain way.
That's right.
You said, I won't vote this way. You said, I'm voting this way. You will not hear me look at you and say, don't go vote this way.
That's right.
All I'm doing tonight is talking about the ticket, what I think can be the best, how we could accomplish something, and I'm not here to carry water. I'm a conservative.
Right.
But I've used the word endorse one time, and I got to close with this.
Okay.
I absolutely love this individual. I have a heart for this guy. I love this man. His name's Christopher Mora.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot vote in the 11th district. I don't live there, but I did say the word endorse with him. He is an example of a candidate that is solid, balanced, has his head on his shoulders, would be a great representative for the 11th District, and he is the poster child to me for what we have to do to stop this and fix campaign finance.
Man, I agree.
Okay?
I love Chris.
I think he's one of the best guys in the world.
He has been.
I absolutely love him. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I overstayed my
No,
welcome.
you didn't. We could go on another hour, but we can't do it. So listen, guys, it is important that you go vote. We want you to go vote your conscience. We want you to take everything and get educated. Vote on Tuesday, okay? Thank y'all for hanging out. Brian, again, thank you for being up here. It's been a blast. And we're going to get off here, so you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you later.
Legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.